Welcome to the next Q&A, everybody, and thank you very much to whoever timestamps this. You guys have been depositing lots and lots of questions, so I'm going to try to move somewhat quickly and efficiently here. I'll skip any that have been answered. If your comment is deleted without an answer, you know it's somewhere in the timestamps on the other Q&A, so please look it up. All right, all that being said, let's go, guys. First question, what's your opinion on the Norse gods and Norse mythology? Do you like it and them? Well, Norse mythology is very interesting, and as far as do I like it, mixed feelings there. The Norse gods and the belief systems involved, really it reminds me a lot of what certain groups in the Middle East have going right now, where they teach their young that your god is a bloodthirsty savage, so the more of the infidels you can torture and murder and destroy, the happier your god's going to be. It's a powerful manipulation to make people into better soldiers, and it definitely works when you believe that your rewards in heaven are all about dying in glorious battle. You'll live the life of a great warrior. So it's a very powerful mind hack to get your whole society to be very alpha on the battlefield, and it'll work for that. But that being said, it's not my favorite philosophy. How many people you can destroy is not my ultimate measure of value in life. So I find it interesting mythology and stuff, but I'd say the effect that it has on people, you guys know me, I'm all about the power and the danger of belief systems, and that's a really dangerous one in its own way. It's very effective for making your own people into great warriors, but it's kind of a mind job if you really think about it. All right, much love. Next question. Hey, big man, would like to know your thoughts on the best, most powerful emotion to be feeling during training. For instance, when emotions give the most drive and determination, I usually try to train on a clear head and a peaceful mind, but would love to hear your thoughts on this, as I truly believe certain emotions really do alter not just your mindset, but your body's physical capabilities too. Yeah, for sure. Emotion is energy in motion, so there's a lot of potential energy and motions that can be harnessed for different things. I do agree. As always, peace, love, and respect, and thank you greatly for the effort you're giving to provide us with incredible content. You're very welcome, my friend, and thank you for everyone contributing to that. It's all of us that makes this a great channel. So, let's see. Yeah, as far as emotions, now, sometimes just pure aggressive, I'm going to do it, nothing can stop me. That's real powerful for setting personal bests and things. But there's other times I set personal bests where I'm more in what you're describing here, more of a peaceful thing. And what I would say about that is I'm very in the moment. I'm not distracted by anything else. My mind is not anywhere else. I'm very much in the moment, just really present with what I'm doing. That seems to be the factor that for me has made the biggest difference on, setting new personal bests and things of that nature, is whether I'm more on the aggressive side or I'm more on the peaceful, just feeling kind of happy about what I'm doing side. I can be strong in either of those modes emotionally. It's really about being in the moment and not having my mind divided by other things. If my mind's divided by other stresses in life, that takes away from the performance, definitely. So sorting out your personal life and your personal inner conflicts and things like that can certainly help. That'd be my 2 cents on that. And different people are going to find different emotions to gravitate to. You definitely don't want to lift when you're depressed, because depression's like drowning and being weak. I'm a person who's more prone towards the anxiety side of the spectrum. And I find that a lot of anxious energy builds up in me. And then I use it. I use it for physical things. I use it for mental things, especially for physical. And then all that energy, instead of just building up, making me more and more nervous, it goes into something productive if I can be in the moment, and then I feel better afterwards. So I tend to use a buildup of nervous energy a lot of times. Even though I may seem calm lifting, I'm channeling nervous energy that's been building up in me. That's one reason why I've been lifting consistently since long before I ever knew I'd have a YouTube channel. I was just doing all this stuff on my own in my basement, and I still would be, because it's important to me to stay grounded, and it's just an important pursuit that's really a part of my nature. But anyway, I guess that's my answer, my 2 cents. Much love. Tablecloth. How have you broken out of the rat race in terms of money? I despise working for people and want to embark on the journey of being financially independent of any employer. I don't care about being crazy rich. I mainly care about having enough to take care of my health, vitality, and have emergency funds. Cheers. Well, there's any number of proactive plans on how you can arrange your life to not have a 9 to 5. One reason I was able to do that most people aren't, is I'm very capable and efficient of living without a lot of the things that others consider to be essential. There's just a lot of things I don't ever spend money on that people do, and that helps. Now, I've been investing and saving money since I was 15 years old, the very first money I ever earned, because I knew even then that one of my goals was to not spend all my time in my life doing something for somebody else, just grinding away in a circuit until my life's passed by and I'm wondering why. So I've been working on this for some time. I've got some rental income now, thanks to you guys being supportive and what we're building in this channel. This is becoming a profession, if you will. I compete in a certain sport. There's a certain amount of money I make from that. It's rather undependable and all over the place. But my point is, having learned to be very efficient. Now also my wife has a career, and we budget off of that very carefully and wisely for the family, so we have our bases covered. And then whatever extra or additional income I can bring in, we can use to pay off our debts. So this is what we're really working on. When we get our various debts paid off and we don't owe anybody any money anymore, then we can full-time dedicate our lives and our focus to the things we really believe in, and that's the goal. So through a variety of different means of income, none of it's a steady 9 to 5. However, my wife has a career like that. So that's one of the reasons I've been able to branch out and build into other projects that don't start out with a steady 9 to 5, but if you put in the effort and develop the skills you need, you can develop money in other ways. And those ways are countless. So really it comes down to, what do you have an interest in, in your own heart? Because that's what you're going to have the energy and the interest to consistently build upon. Okay, so that's really the best of what I can say off that, I think, for now. Much love. Your body is amazing. Can you show pictures of you 10 to 20 years ago to see your starting point? Thank you. Yeah, I'll try to find something like that one of these days. I've got pictures from 20 years ago, but none of them are really shirtless or anything, So you can just see that I was a lot thinner overall. But yeah, I'll post something like that one of these days. 10 years ago, I'm not sure. Hopefully I'll find something in there too, so you can see sort of a kind of a halfway point. Much love. Bimmel Stinson. Hello, glorious man. What's your thoughts on Shilajit and Gokshura? Now, I don't know what the Gokshura is. If it's anything similar, it's probably awesome. I know about Shilajit. I've taken it. It's an amazing mineral pitch that the earth formed since primordial times, and it's such a concentrated form of so many special trace minerals that people are deficient in. And there might even be other factors in there that nobody's named or discovered yet, but I've seen accounts of old people regrowing their teeth from taking Shilajit. So if that happens to be real, and the accounts seemed legit from the people confirming it and so forth, man, pretty impressive. So I've read many really good testimonials from people getting benefits from it. So that's my 2 cents. If I could have an unlimited supply, I'd probably eat it by the spoonful every day. Much love. Next question. What kind of routine exercises, rep ranges would you recommend for increasing vertical jump? That's timestamped before. I've been over it many times. Next question. I ain't shy, nor do I have social anxiety. I just don't know how to start a conversation. What to say? Any tips? By the way, if I need something, for instance, ask for a direction, I just have a decent talk. Okay, so you're saying starting conversations with people is a bit of a sticking point for you? What I would say is don't plan anything, because you're overthinking it, and that's really where you're getting caught up in your head. Should I say this? Should I say that? Should I not say this? You're overanalyzing it. If you want to talk to the person, let it come naturally. Let whatever's the first thing that just comes up naturally that you want to say, and go with that. Don't try to plan it and control it. That's what's making it so hard. That's my 2 cents, friend. Just be natural. Be you, be natural, and it'll be easy to start a conversation. Just say whatever comes to mind naturally, okay? I mean, within reason. Don't say something that's obviously going to insult the person you're just meeting, but I know you know that, so enough said. Moving on. If you're intermittent fasting and you train at night, is it best to eat before or after the session? I definitely prefer after. I like to train fasted. I feel I have much more energy to apply to training when my energy is not being divided into the digestive process. And then after training, of course, everything's fresh and ready to grow and feed, and plus you're going to sleep, which is a great time for all that. So yeah, that's definitely the way I arrange it. Much love. Is every calorie worth the same? No. And I've been over this before. We've been over this topic. Check it out in the timestamps. Much love. Relaxing, freedom, friends, and passions. Do you work out the muscle only after you felt it completely recovered from a previous session? No. And if you look through my videos, you'd already find videos that address that. Thank you. Next question. Do you think any of this information you are sharing was known in past millennia? Well, some of it was, yeah. A lot of the stuff I get is the more nature of the universe type stuff. Yeah, it's been known by various individuals and groups throughout what you could call time. As far as the new weightlifting ideas, probably not, because people only started lifting barbells and dumbbells not very long ago, you know. And as far as I'm concerned, it's in a super primitive state. People invented a couple exercises, and for some reason, everybody just quit. Like that was it. We got it all now. And that's what's silly to me. People haven't even begun to capitalize on all the potentials of things you can do, even with just a barbell and dumbbells, let alone all the other potentially useful types of training equipment, even body weight. So, anyway, much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, do you think it's possible to have low testosterone genetically? Well, yeah, I mean, people have genetic tendencies towards this and that, so one person's genetic natural testosterone level, if we were all on a tropical island with perfect health and, perfect health and stuff, there'd be variations in how much testosterone everybody was producing, sure. But I don't buy into this idea that it would be some low amount like a 10-year-old girl. That's from contaminants in society. That's not natural at all. I believe if you were healthy, even if you were on the lower end of what is healthy to produce in testosterone, you'd still be producing a lot. I honestly believe that. For example, if I lift, eat correctly, take natural supplements, is it possible to have low T? Of course it's possible, man. And a lot of it's just the mindset. I feel very energetic and have no symptoms of low T, but I did a blood test a year ago and it was showing 300 total. Yeah, it's a little on the low side. A lot of it's mindset, man. Remember, the physical things you do for your health are one thing, but how much you believe in it and how much you think alpha and how much you think strong affects your glandular physiology and what your glands are producing in your body, okay? Much love. Next question. Gabby Corleone. Given your incredible arms, and thank you, can you give us your top 3 exercises for biceps and triceps, please? I'll try to. Your physique is unreal for natural and your personality is very likable. Well, thank you. Keep it up, the good work. Much love and respect from France. Awesome. All right, Gabby from France. Let me think now about my favorite 3 biceps and favorite 3 tricep exercises currently. And this changes as I get a little more into one thing or another, as I'm always, changing and cycling my training and stuff. But right now, I'd say my 3 favorite biceps are the Machine Zercher bicep stretch overload that I do. I've got some recent videos on that, so you can see what I'm talking about there. And then I'd say either one-handed pull-ups or weighted pull-ups or chin-ups, weighted chin-ups, or one-handed chin-ups. Those are really good for biceps for me. And then the third one, I don't even know what the name technically is. I got the idea from watching gymnasts. It's in one of the it's one of the first workouts listed in my workouts playlist, the one where it says 20 sets of biceps and triceps. What you see me doing with my biceps on the barbell in that video would be my number 3 for my favorite biceps exercises. And then also in that same video, what I'm doing on the same bar with triceps, again, I forget the name because most of the stuff I've just been playing around with myself in my dungeon. I didn't read about it and get the name and then do it that way. I just kind of organically discovered these moves, and a lot of them have names, but I don't happen to know the names. So anyway, that same video, 20 sets of biceps, triceps. The tricep exercise I'm doing on the barbell, that's one of my favorites. Try to think of my two others. Some sort of rope, like an overhead rope tricep extension with an outward twist at the end where you twist your wrists outward as far as you can. I don't know exactly what to call that, but that's another one of my favorite tricep moves. And then, one of these days it's going to be, for biceps and triceps, it's going to be some of these gymnastic moves I'm trying and learning now. But since I don't have enough familiarity with those quite yet, and enough experience quite yet, I guess for my third tricep exercise I'll pick, strangely enough, heavy dumbbell pullovers. For me, by adding just a little bit of tricep extension to that move, I get a really good targeting of the long head of my triceps, which has been, that's the head I've had to play catch up on. I had pressers triceps from just doing presses for many years, and the long head was really lagging. So one of the things that helped bring it up to where it's compatible and it goes with the rest of my upper body is heavy dumbbell pullovers, including a little bit of a tricep extension. Not a full range tricep extension because it's still more of a pullover move, but I don't come all the way up over me to balance. I keep the weight back and I keep it pulling and hanging on the long head. And I do the pullover motion, but I also do a little bit of extension at the same time I'm doing it, okay? And with heavy dumbbells, that works really well for my long head and my triceps. It won't necessarily be that way for everybody. Everybody's physiology is different. Some people don't get as much tricep activation doing dumbbell pullovers. Some people get more back or chest. I don't really get that. I get the tricep activation, so that's what I use it for. Cool question. Much love. Next one. I have good bicep genetics and insertions. Unfortunately, my triceps insert high on my arm, far from the elbow. This makes my tris look really small in shirts. Any advice? Love from Alabama. Yeah, okay. That, because of where t-shirts are, that's always going to be an issue. But what you could do is just build really big, badass tricep, even if it's short. The pop that it'll have coming off your arm will be really visually impressive, and then just wear sleeveless shirts, okay? So then people can see that you got the guns. You're just going to need shorter sleeves because you got shorter triceps. All right, man, much love. Next question. Why was your old channel randomly deleted? Well, it wasn't random. Basically, I was revealing information that's on certain hidden Illuminati documents, and even to my own surprise, I was revealing it word for word, and I guarantee that set off so many red flags somewhere that YouTube got pressured to shutting me down. I don't blame YouTube. I know it wasn't YouTube. It was somebody made them do it, okay? So these days I'm a lot more careful to, sadly, have to put a governor on it to limit some of the things I share, okay? So that it's not so directly against the powers that be that they feel the need to silence me, as they do anybody really who tries to reveal something to humanity that has the chance to change things. So, doing my best to get along with everyone now. I don't consider myself an enemy of the Illuminati. I'm just here to share, what I can with people about how things work in this universe. Interesting question. Much love. Without getting too into conspiracy theories, do you think the government shuts down people trying to spread the truth about health, disease, consciousness, etc.? Yeah, they do. They do. Guys, you got to understand they have, well, I'm trying to think how much to say without making this a problem right now. The government has a lot of mathematicians who basically calculate what's going to cost them profits that they're not willing to be costed. And if you set off those red flags, you get silenced. That's pretty much the system, the way it works, okay? Much love. Moving on. And not just our government, I'm talking the world government. I'm not blaming one country over another. This is, the ones doing this, they're all in cahoots around the world, okay? It's a secretive group, and I'm not revealing things here. They don't need to target me. I'm helping people in other ways. I'm not directly challenging the powers that be or anything. So, much love. Next question. How do I find my spirit animal, specifically the animal that guides me through workouts? Well, how do you find your spirit animal? Is there any animal you feel any kind of connection or interest in? That'd be a good place to start, all right? I mean, you're going to be able to tell me what's your spirit animal before I should tell you even how to find it. You probably already know. You just got to trust yourself more. I bet you, if I made you tell me right now what you think your spiritual animal would be, you probably are already aware of some animal totem that you have, all right? So, what resonates with you? What interests you? What animal would you be if you were going to be an animal? What animal would you be? That's a good place to start right there. Much love. Next question. How do I cure or improve GERD, chronic acid reflux? Is it something that's incurable? No. You live in a society where everybody destroys their digestive tract with terrible eating habits. It's very curable. Is it something that's... Okay, I stay away from citrus, tomato sauce, coffee, alcohol, and sometimes chocolate as much as I can already, and that helps, but not much when I'm bulking and still eat tons of food. I get a sour stomach and mucus issues all the time. Not sure if the mucus is from the GERD. Well, it's probably from dairy. If you haven't entirely eliminated dairy from your life, that'd be a great place to start. The three biggest things that are doing the most damage that are commonly ingested in civilized so-called society: dairy, gluten, and processed sugar. If everyone out there would completely eliminate those three things from their diet, sadly the medical institution would probably collapse and go into panic mode. Okay? And nothing against them. I'm just, talking statistics and math here. So, you got a flu last year and you think that's what the mucus is still from? Well, if your body's really toxic, then yeah, it tends to keep parts of every virus you have, and it just gets more and more toxic over time. So, deep cleansing methods to reset your organs, to open them up and clean out the junk, and proper food combinations, and learning about which foods do not belong in your diet just because they belong supposedly in society, okay? It's all about that, man. People do not know how to eat right for their body. That's 99% of this, for sure, okay? So learning about proper food combinations for digestion and deep cleansing of your body so your organs can remove their burden and start processing things at a better speed again. Highly recommended, my friend. You can, of course, get another better upgrade manual to use my personal detox and vitality methods if you're interested, or you can go research and choose some proactive approaches. But that's what I would be looking at if I were you. Much love, my friend. What do you think about stevia? I think stevia is great for a sweetener, yeah. It's healthy, if anything, instead of unhealthy like pretty much any other sweetener I'm aware of. Much love. Next question. What do you think about overtraining? Isn't it all about the mindset? Well, your mindset will have a lot to do with how much you can handle, because a more positive mindset produces a more positive neurotransmitter and hormone profile in your body, so recovery will be better. But no, there's a lot more to it than mindset. There's the whole nutritional lifestyle side of it, okay? And I have all my personal life hacks and another better upgrade manual for those that are interested. But mindset's a lot of it, yes. People with a strong mindset can train more than people with a weak mindset. Absolutely. All other things being equal, that is true, yes. Much love. Hey, Nether, is there a PDF version of the manual dropping anytime soon? Yes, I have it on PDF now. So send me an email showing me your purchase, and I'll send you the PDF if you want the PDF copy of it. Okay? Much love. I am currently doing a nucleus overload cycle for my side delts, calves, and neck. Is this a good way to go? Well, absolutely, man. Wherever you want to add new genetic material to expand upon, highly recommended. I think nucleus overload is like a special type of paintbrush for your sculpture. It's a new paintbrush in your kit that can add something to the picture that nothing else can quite do. So yeah, I think that's a great way to go. Yeah, you can totally do multiple muscle groups instead of one. That's what you're asking here. Absolutely. Absolutely. Next question. If I don't train legs, will my upper body recover from more volume? Yeah, overall. Definitely. It's just math. Less recovery capacity is being used in the legs, so there will be more for the upper body. Sure. Next question. Can I take ashwagandha if I have hypothyroidism? You should take ashwagandha if you have hypothyroidism. Legal disclaimer, I'm not a medical physician. You do everything at your own risk, yada yada, so I'm not legally liable here to be crucified for telling you this, but ashwagandha is one of the best, it's the best known tonic herb in nature for improving thyroid function, whether you're hypo or hyper. That's what tonics do. They adjust your body the direction it needs to go because they're highly intelligent, unlike man-made medicine. So I'm not going to say any more. I don't need to dig a ditch and give somebody the ammo to shoot me in it, but yeah, do some research on that, okay, and follow your own heart. Much love. Would you say that your back looks amazing because of genetics, insertion points, or that you train in an unconventional way? Because in my opinion, you have the best natty back on YouTube. Well, thank you, friend. Also, after you have built a solid base of strength with weights, okay, hold on. After you build a solid base of strength with weights, would a smarter move be to focus on weighted calisthenics? I'm not just asking about weighted dips and pull-ups, but weighted handstand push-ups, front levers, back levers, pistol squats. Do you think that would ensure more progressive overload? Okay, as far as just like bodybuilding, no, I don't think that it would ensure more progressive overload. The only thing that ensures progressive overload is that you make sure you're using progressive overload techniques. The advantage of this, though, let's say you cloned yourself, and one version of you built his physique using what you're describing here, and the other version stuck to more conventional weightlifting. And let's say a year or two from now, you guys are the same size and the same strength. So all other things being equal, I would say that the guy who used the weighted calisthenics, he's going to have an advantage as an athlete. Like if the two of them get in a wrestling match now, he's going to have the advantage. Even though their strength on most measurable lifts would be the same and their muscle mass would be the same, using those weighted calisthenic moves is way more athletically functional, okay? So that would be the difference to me. But progressive overload is just about tearing up the muscles harder or giving them more stimulus than the last time, whether you're doing that with calisthenics or weights or anything else, okay? Much love. Next question. What do you think is the main cause of low testosterone levels in men? You know, there's kind of several main causes. Some of them are the contaminants that are in the environment, big time. Estrogenating contaminants, things like pesticides that's on all non-conventional, or that's on all conventional produce. There's nothing like pesticides to shut down your glandular functions, and your glands are what produces hormones. The environment's full of xenoestrogens that are like estrogen on steroids. It's like super estrogen, from what I understand. Has a much stronger estrogenic effect, so it shuts you down on your male hormones big time. The environment's full of all that shit. The mindset. You grew up in a world where you're taught to have zero confidence, to never stand on anything you believe, have no charisma, have no character, be a quivering, hating, nothing's possible and life is shit and I hate anybody who says different. This mentality that's being handed out around the planet is bringing people up in a very beta-ass mindset. So that's the other side of it, consciousness. The way people thought in, say, Viking culture, when your god is all about how many people you can impale and behead with your bare hands, that makes for really powerful male hormones. It's a mindset, it's a belief system, it's what frames your reality. So there's two sides to it. There's all the contaminants and toxicity, and then there's all the belief system toxicity that's just been handed out to make people weak and complacent so they don't ever change anything in this world. You know? A lot of people literally teach having the lowest expectations for life possible, and that's their whole philosophy, and they think that's the right thing to be doing. So it's both of those sides of that. Much love, man. Next question. Bozo, hey Nether. One day when I was meditating, I asked my guides to tell me what I need to know, and they kept repeating, return to your true form. Awesome. I just want to know, what did they mean by saying that? Much love. Keep up the good work. Sorry for my bad English. Well, the thing with guides is their information is always multifaceted. There's many, many levels of meaning to it. It's way more brilliant than the human brain will comprehend. But some of the things that are meant by that is go back to your heart. Who were you as a child before the world taught you different things about who and what you are? What is your real creativity? Who are you really? What did you come here to be? If you can go back to that and take away every other influence, every other one of us outside of yourself, and see who you really are, that's part of it. The other part about true form means move your consciousness back to your higher self, where you realize you're not a human, you're a consciousness. That's what you are. This is one of the many experiences that you're having as a consciousness, the human experience. But you're way the hell more than a human. You are a consciousness itself. You are part of the consciousness that is everything. The further you return back up into that, the more of a higher place of free will and power and awareness and manifestation you'll be creating your reality from, okay? So that's some of the inroads of what they're sharing with you there and encouraging you on. Very cool, man. Very exciting. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I've been doing your Nether Better upgrade, and I was wondering if this could help me come off of steroids. Yeah, it can help very much, yes. And I'll go over some of the reasons why. Should I use my normal plethora of post-cycle therapy drugs or trust that my body get its natural levels back? Do you have anything I can add to get it back faster? Much love and thanks. Okay. Now, I can't really tell you whether you should use your normal post-cycle therapy drugs because I'm not an expert on the topic, and I wouldn't want to mess you up one way or another. I don't know about those drugs, and they may be toxic in and of their own right, so they're probably not something I would use, but here's some things to know. If you'll do the coffee enemas, for example, your liver will clean out and process and get caught up on its workload. One of the main things the liver does is remove all the extra estrogens from your body. One of the reasons men are way too high on estrogen now is both the contaminants in the environment and the fact that the liver's so overworked and backed up that estrogen from a variety of sources has been building up in the body, which obviously keeps your testosterone suppressed, right? So we're on the same page there. So if you'll use the coffee enemas, this very much helps with improving your male hormone profile. For women too, because these xenoestrogens in the environment are bad for them as well. The coffee enemas will help you get to your optimum hormone profile a lot faster. Now, the D-aspartic acid might help you jumpstart something. You know, creatine, if you use it, might be a good way to kind of bridge off, and it tends to encourage male hormones a little bit. The alpha transmitter stack I got in there is definitely going to help, okay? That's going to help your master glands. Because those are tonic herbs that optimize your hormones, wherever your hormone imbalance is, whatever's whacked out when you're coming off the steroids, it's going to help balance all that out faster. So yes, everything in the manual will definitely help. The only thing I can't decide for you, since I don't have the experience or the knowledge, is whether you should still take your post-cycle therapy drugs. I know that, you know, that subject alone, you know, is out there, and I hear a lot of things about, oh, you know, like, for example, I've heard people say, oh, you know, if you know how to do your post-cycle therapy drugs, you can keep your gains from steroids. I kind of doubt that, but anyway, again, I don't know enough about them. I know that the Nether Better upgrade will get you up to good production. I just don't know how fast. I don't really know what it's like to come off steroids and just use natural things to get your testosterone levels high. I know it'll get you there. If you take advantage of everything in that manual, you will get to where you have a good natural production. I just don't know if it's going to be fast enough for you, coming from such a high androgen level, no doubt, you know. So take that and do with it what you will. You know more about post-cycle therapy drugs and what you're supposed to do there. You might want to combine both, and then as soon as you can, just come off those drugs, all drugs, and just use nutrition and herbs and mindset from there on. As soon as you can feel you're stable enough that you can maintain enough muscle going forward, and then look at it like a long-term project, like I'm going to continue to improve my male hormone profile over the next 5-10 years, okay? Because the natural path is more about that. It's more about slow improvements over time that are keepable, and I'm talking not just physique, but also hormone profile, for example, okay? Mine is better now than it was in my 20s, and I can feel that, and it's obvious. So there you go, man. All right, much love. Next question. Are spirit animal zodiac accurate? Thank you for doing these Q&As. I don't know, man. I kind of doubt it. I think if somebody just chooses 12 animals and sticks them on a zodiac, is that going to be your totem animal? No way. That's like saying there's only 12 types of people. So logically, I'd say no. It just doesn't add up. Much love. Next question. How do you deal with digestive issues for a guy who's always feeling bloated and gas and stuff like that? How would you fix low sexual energy and how to have a strong erections again? The Nether Better Upgrade Manual. These are literally the things that it addresses, okay? Big time. Much love. Next question. Lou Monte. Is the intake of fluids during a meal better for digestion and overall health than, say, before or after a meal? Thanks. No, Lou. No, you don't want to dilute your meal with liquids, because then your stomach acid is diluted and it's not near as strong and it doesn't break down the food near as well. So sometime before eating or sometime after is better for hydrating, okay? That'll leave your digestion stronger when you're eating food, to not mix liquids with it, all right? Much love. Next question. From your observation, which exercise hits triceps harder, dips or closed grip bench? Well, for me, it's closed grip bench, because when I do dips, it's a very chest dominant kind of a dip. So it's going to totally entirely depend on which type of dips the person's doing. If you do very tricep dominant dips, it might be a different story. My body, the way it hangs and everything, I can't even figure out how to do a tricep dip, to be honest with you. It's really weird and off balance. So for me, dips are a very chest dominant thing, chest and shoulders. And so for me, the closed grip bench definitely hits them harder. Much love. Next question. Do you think there's any difference between behind the back rack pull and conventional rack pull when it comes to back development? Well, sure. Yeah, definitely. You're pulling from different angles, so the leverage is different on each of the muscles in the back. Which muscles are getting pulled on the hardest is different with those two different moves. From personal observation, excuse me, having bar behind puts more stretch on traps, hence it may be better than conventional rack pull when it comes to trap development. Well, if that's how you feel it in your body, then you can trust that, yes. Whichever part of your traps you feel it hitting harder with a behind the back rack pull, you can rest assured that's a great way for you to build that area, definitely. And it's going to be a little different on different physiologies. Not everybody would have that same exact report. But that's your mind-muscle connection, and that's good that you notice that. So now you know how to hit that part of your traps the hardest for you. Much love. Next question. Have you ever thought about creating a Patreon page? Right now you're doing a lot of work with all these Q&As. Sadly, people are asking questions they already answered or could be easily Googled. If the ability to ask you a question was behind a paywall, you would have a lot less questions but more quality ones. Well, yeah, and the thing is, I offer paid consultations for anyone interested. And the consultation could be about anything. It could be about your fitness goals, health goals, pick my brain, emotional stuff, like, sharing and counseling related, metaphysical related, really out there woo-woo stuff, whatever. If there's anything you're interested in hiring me for my time, and come prepared, have your questions and topics and make full use of it, that is an option on my shamanic services page, which is, the link is posted in the information box for anybody interested in that. And I only have a certain amount of time I can schedule for consultations, per week or whatever. So I just schedule it in order of whoever, hits me up about it first. There's not any favorites or anything. And we just work it out that I get to you on that as soon as I reasonably can. This summer, when my kids are out of school soon for 3 months, I'll be able to fit in more of the counseling type stuff, because a lot of people are asking me for paid consultation, and I'm happy to do it. It's a wonderful thing. The people that have done it so far have been really happy with what they got out of it, which makes me really happy. And I'll be doing an announcement video pretty soon when my kids are out of school, and I can take the hours that I would normally be homeschooling my boys, and I can do online consultation for about a 3-month period before we get back into school. So just to throw that out there for those that want to start, preparing your questions and topics and, getting lined up on that. Much love. Next question. Hey Nether, why are people so immature when it comes to race and trying to compete on which race is the best? I know, man, isn't it sad? As well as how to not be sucked into these dumb arguments and not get offended by racism. Yeah, it can be so offensive because that's the whole energy of it. The whole energy is a low vibrational, shitty energy. So anytime you're even getting involved in a racist debate in this world, it's shit. It's low energy. It's a trap. It's going nowhere mentally or emotionally. It's just human insecurity and patheticness and fear. It's just fucking fear. That's all it is. This race is afraid of that race, and now this race is afraid of this race, and you got Hollywood and the media playing into it big time because they want everybody fighting with each other over gender and race and income and fucking what football team, goddamn jersey you wear, or any other stupid thing they can have humans fighting over. So we don't work together and make the world a better place. That's it. The illusion of race. Oh, I'm a this and you're a that. So what? You're having a human experience. Don't get so caught up in which variation of the human genome you incarnated into. Because again, this isn't you. You're a consciousness. So use this human experience for whatever you think's most productive. And don't even bother with those discussions. Those are discussions for low-minded, small-minded, lost, blind, hateful people. And there's no point because they're not even open to something better. People that like racist debates and all that shit, they're not open to better information. They're not open to having their eyes open. They're not open to seeing it from a higher perspective. So just let them have that misery. People that are racist play the racist game. Let them play with each other. That's what racists do. They fucking hate each other for being racist. I just have no interest in it. I have productive things to do with my time, you know? And so do most of you guys on this channel, I think. Much love. Next question. Hey Nether, sorry if you talked about this before, but I'm thinking about cutting some weight and I really want to maintain my strength levels or even gain some strength. Do you think a routine based on singles and doubles near 1 rep maxes could send my body the message to keep growing stronger? Well, yes. I've done this many times where I've set personal bests where I was cutting because my training was very focused that way. Whereas when I had been bulking, or not really bulking but getting bigger, my training was of a more bodybuilding nature, and then I would shift over into doing a lot of 1 rep maxes while I'm on my more cutting diet where I don't have, because when I go on a cutting diet, it's actually a less energy diet, so I don't want to be doing as many high volume workouts. So a lot of times that's what I do. I'll focus on just strength stuff. And you can get personal bests while leaning out, yes. It's the specificity of training factor that really allows for that. Now all that being said, moving forward, I'm going to shift out of strongman mode and go into bodybuilding mode. Doing all these fun strongman lifts, I'm kind of encouraging myself to stay a little fluffier than I want to, and I need to get moving on my recomp instead of just talking about it. So in my case, I'm actually going to be shifting more into bodybuilding mode while I'm recomping this time. But yes, that is a viable way to do it. I've done it that way many times and it's worked well for me. So I think you'll have a great time with that. Your next question says, much respect to you, man, and wishes from Germany. Right on, man. Much love over there in Germany. It says, you love my content. Okay. It says, I'm starting to get into this health thing right now. Just bought some ashwagandha. Gonna try it soon. What dose do you recommend? 500 milligrams a day? Yeah, that's a good place to start. It's a recommended dose. And then after a month, you can try doubling it for a few days and see if you get sleepy or if you feel better. It won't hurt you. Ashwagandha, if you take too much of a dose, it just tends to be relaxing and make you a bit drowsy. But yeah, start out with a recommended dose and observe how that treats you for like a month, okay? And remember, with a tonic herb like ashwagandha, it's taking it consistently over time that adds up to better and better effects. It's a slow, subtle adjustment where you're slowly getting better, 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 all the systems in your body. Just FYI, okay? Your next question. Can you please cover more of this health thing on your channel? Or is that why you got taken down before? Yeah, there's limits to what I can say because it literally it sets off red flags, certain terms that I say, and then my channel gets attention from the institutions that do have the money and influence to tell YouTube just to shut me down. So I do have to be very careful. I do everything I can to share everything you need without saying it in a way that's overly offensive to the powers that be, okay? And ultimately the responsibility is on you because I'm not a licensed physician. I can't tell anybody what to do, nor would I want to. I'm just sharing my personal life hacks and benefits for those who would like to research these things and apply them for themselves so you can get a lot of the same benefits as me. That's basically what I'm doing, but I'm keeping it a little more compromised and toned down than I used to, because otherwise I'm not going to get to say anything to anybody or help anybody anymore. I have to compromise in order to be helpful. It's against my nature, and it's hard for someone as eccentric as me to compromise. But in the best interest of all, because a lot of good things are happening on this channel, I'm getting so many emails about health conditions that are healed or improved and lives that are getting better, and, you know, consciousness upgrades in people's lives and revelations and life-changing things. It's so exciting and positive that I'm going to keep doing this and doing my best to comply with you know, the limitations out there, and just how helpful I'm really allowed to be. All right, to put that carefully in careful words, I hope. Gerson therapy and detoxification is what I'm really interested in right now. Yeah, you have to go to Mexico to do that. It's illegal in this country. You have to go to Mexico to heal your cancer, because that's not allowed here. Healing is not allowed here. Gerson, okay, I know there are a few of your old videos on YouTube, but I want to know more about the details on how you came to your conclusions and your evidence for what you think why you think Gerson therapy works, for example. The many people who have cured themselves of all sorts of incurable cancer. It's not about think, it's about fact. That's real. What some medical professional writes in a book to scare you out of doing it, that's not real. Okay? Anybody that was dying of cancer and now they're well, I guarantee you, to them, that's the most real there is. That's who you should put your attention on if you're actually interested in this. Don't take my word for it. Go enlighten yourself. There's a lot better things about Gerson therapy out there than me, okay? I'm just introducing people, pointing them in the right direction. But if you'll go look for yourself, you decide for yourself what you believe, okay? The fear that tells you not to touch it, or all the people that have healed themselves with it. It's a choice, and it's a personal choice, all right? Much love. You're sorry for the number of questions. It's all good. Much love and respect to you, too. Absolutely, man. We're going to keep building upon health of mind, body, and spirit on this channel together in what ways we can, without me or anybody else needing to get silenced or shut down for it. There's too much good happening here, and as long as our hearts and heads are in it for that cause, that the world becomes a better place for us as individuals as well as anybody else we affect, this is a very powerful, wonderful thing we're doing here. And as long as our hearts and heads are in it together, we're going to have great success making the world a better place, guys. So I literally just love every one of you, okay? Even the ones that are on the fence and still think I'm crazy, but you're hanging out because something here is speaking to you. Just so you know, I love you. Even those of you out there starting hate cults and hating the shit out of me, I love you, just so you know. And I'm here for you, okay? When you get your diagnosis, if you'd rather not be radiated to death in a tube, I'll be here for you, just so you know. Not just myself, but there's many out there who could help you on a better path than that. Just FYI, and I'm not going to say any more. Much love. All right. I have terrible mind-muscle connection on my left side. My left lat, bicep, glute, quad, everything smaller than my right. What should I do? Put in 4 extra working sets on your left side, unilateral style, at the end of every workout until you have a better mind-muscle connection and more muscle on your left side. You already know that, man. You know what you need to do. Balance it out. I'm just confirming what you already know. Next question. How to fade stretch marks. Been over this many times. Start with this nutritional stack. Food grade diatomaceous earth, organic gotu kola, and bee pollen. Make sure you're not allergic to bee pollen before you start taking high doses. Combine those 3 things, watch your stretch marks and skin improve. Now, when that's confirmed to you that the nether's not pulling this out of his ass, and you want to take it further, get another better upgrade manual and completely overhaul your body from the inside. To be youthful to a degree that nobody around you believes you can. What the hell just happened? Hold on. I lost my place. I have to... Laptop's doing a bunch of corny ass shit. Intermission music. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Okay. Are we there yet? No. Keep scrolling. Okay. Okay, here we are. Don't do that again, laptop. Next question. Hey Nether, love your content, not the same old bigger arms and how to bench more. Exactly, man. Thanks for appreciating that. I can't understand for the life of me why people's minds are so inside the box. Not the people on this channel, but the weird trolls that come along. All they do is try to tell me that I should just be doing the exact same boring shit as every other channel. I mean, that fucking philosophy of life is so sad to me, it almost makes me heartbroken, so I just have to ignore it. Anyway, thank you for noticing that there's actually something of value here that hasn't been covered 100 million times. What are your thoughts and personal experiences with Zercher squats for building strength and power? I've personally found doing pause, Astergrass, Zercher box squats are just amazing. They feel better in my case. I've got scoliosis and having weight on my back just never felt right. I still competed in powerlifting my junior year of high school with a 630 squat as a junior in high school. Damn. At 189 pounds for haters. Holy fuck, dude. That's awesome. That's awesome. I couldn't squat that in high school. I think I got to like 500. But then again, my senior year is when I actually started squatting. So that's awesome, dude. I didn't find out I had scoliosis till I was 18. Then it all made sense. Okay. Yeah, I'd say, you know me, man. There's nothing special about the so-called big three. So this is just a better alternative for you. You can, as long as you're putting in the intensity, you can get all the leg gains from squats. But, you know, like Phil from Fit World Exposed in his recent series called Bang for Your Buck Exercises, I believe. You know, one of the ones he went over, and I love that video, was the Zercher lift. And, you know, because of how much training and growth you can get off that one exercise. So absolutely, since you connect better with it, be the Zercher master and don't worry about conventional squats. I mean, you're going to end up probably with more back and definitely with more bicep development from doing these than doing conventional squats anyway, right? Plus the leg and core gains. So, and yeah, I think ass to the grass Zercher lift, I mean, that's about as manly as it gets, you know, seriously. So, yeah, really good functional strength on a lot of muscles you're training. That's what I think. Awesome. Work with your body, man. You know the drill. Much love. Next question. Hey Nether, huge fan of your content. As always, every Q&A feels like a beautiful form of mental progressive overload. Nice. Let's get a few extra reps in today, shall we, on our brain muscles? I love that, man. I have two questions for you. Firstly, are plateaus attributed to training a result of an overly toxic body, given there is creativity in the training style, meaning that virtually plateaus are impossible as long as the body and mind are kept in a detoxified state? Well, toxicity is certainly a limiting factor. That could be the physical reason why a person is going to have to clean their vehicle before they, take any personal bests any further. But at the same time, to me, there's multiple factors that add up to a plateau. And the biggest one's really belief. And I don't mean what you tell yourself you believe. I mean more deeper in like your subconscious. If you're coming close to a number that seems like the big number to you, like a big wall, you know how I know this? I've come close to numbers a long time ago, like when I was a noob and I was obsessed with bench press, okay? Like clear back when I was like 18 or some shit. I would come up to a wall like a big number that just sounds like a big number, and I would be stuck and I wouldn't hit that PR week after week. You know what happened the week I passed it? I accidentally put bigger plates on the bar than I thought, and I passed that PR by like 20 pounds without knowing it. And then I got off and I realized, holy shit, just because my brain thought this was, whatever, 285 or something, and it was actually 305, or it's like I lifted it because I didn't think it was that big a deal, okay? So a lot of it's mental hang-up, mental perception, being intimidated by a certain weight or something. And a lot of it is the toxicity. A cleaner body is definitely a body you can send a stronger signal to. A lot of people only think strength has to do with muscle size and androgen levels, but it doesn't. What even has more to do with strength is your nervous system pathways. And a cleaner body will conduct electricity from your brain to your muscles in a sharper signal. This is why certain natural strongmen of old, and even some present, can set world records on certain lifts, okay, without even having the biggest body. A lot of it's in the nervous system and how strong of a signal you can send from your brain through the muscles. So yes, being cleaner will definitely help you get past a plateau. If you stop and clean your body, you'll be able to come back and progress further, yes. You don't even have to stop training. You know, the way I detox is a year-round thing. It's part of my lifestyle, so I never get toxic to the point where then I have to go through a severe detox that might make me so sick that I have to stop training for a while. I'm past those stages now, and I just do maintenance cleansing methods to keep my body cleaner than the vast majority of people, and it really does pay off, yes. Secondly, what are your thoughts on embracing negative but powerful spiritual energies when hauling big weights? Well, negative is a judgment, remember that. If you're talking about darker and aggressive energies than the ones that have been judged in this society, yeah, embrace that shit, lift twice as much as the next guy, and people are just going to hate you for it anyway, but hey, whatever. Remember, negative is like a judgment, kind of, and you're free to have judgments. We're all supposed to form our own judgments and opinions on things, and you're asking what would be the most efficient way to control these. Well, just look at it for what it is. It's like fire. Fire can build things. Fire can forge empires. Fire can protect you. Fire can ruin you. So, how do you use it? That's what it is. Use those aggressive, dark, or whatever you're really referring to here, energies in the gym or wherever you see it as a constructive channeling of that energy, and then shift your consciousness back into a different energy if you're going to be, say, at home around the kids, okay? It's all about learning to shift around into different modes, different energy connections based on what you're doing and which energy serves best in that scenario, okay? Much love. Next question. Thoughts about isometric rack pulls and overall isometrics? Well, an isometric rack pull would work really well, especially if you're going heavy, because you're still going to get the stretch overload while you're standing there holding that heavy weight, flexing your traps and all those muscles. It's still going to slowly stretch those fibers out further, and that's stretch overload, and that's growth. So yeah. Now, if you're doing an isometric rack pull with a weight that isn't heavy enough to stretch the fibers out and slowly overpower you, it'll make you stronger, it'll make you denser. You won't gain as much size that way. To actually get more muscle mass, it's important to have that stretch overload, okay? This is something a lot of people don't understand about why an above-the-knee rack pull can build so much mass. They don't understand that when all those muscles are extremely contracted and they're getting stretched, even a short distance, they're getting stretched. Oh, it's only a 2-inch range of motion. Well, whatever. My traps are twice as big as anybody that says that shit. And part of the reason is just that, the stretch overload. When you're flexing muscle fibers as hard as you can and a weight is so heavy that it's stretching them anyway, that does the most mechanical damage to those fibers, which causes them to have to grow back bigger. So that would be my thoughts on that. Much love. Hey, Nether, what do you think about honey? Well, raw honey that's unprocessed and has like all the enzymes in it, for people that have a metabolism that can handle things like that, that could be very healthy. It could be an immune booster and have a lot of great nutrients. And for some people, it can help them get over their allergies if they're consuming the raw, unprocessed honey from the local environment. I would tell anyone, start small to make sure you're not allergic to pollen. You wouldn't want to have a bad allergic reaction and have your throat swell shut. So it's a super healthy thing for most people. As with bee pollen, just test it first with a tiny dose to make sure you're not allergic, and then after that, go for it if you want to. Now, I don't do honey because sugary type things just aren't right for my metabolism. But like I'm always saying, different people have different metabolisms. So there's really no one-size-fits-all diet, and that's a super nutritious thing, raw, unprocessed honey. Now, processed honey is basically cooked sugar. I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Much love. Next question. I'm intolerably sensitive and allergic to many foods: dairy, soy, wheat, sugars, beans, most nuts, and most fruit. And skeptical, I'm sensitive to the foods I'm currently eating as well, since eating is nothing but a necessary evil for myself. The taste is fine, but I always feel noticeably worse afterwards. Intermittent fasting has helped mostly due to having to not eat most of the day. What's wrong with me and what should I do next? I've limited my diet so much I don't know what else to do. My current diet is organic grass-fed chicken, 78%, dark chocolate, kale, extra virgin olive oil, some fish, not too much because you're concerned about mercury, broccoli, and parts of the Nether Better Upgrade and other vitamins, minerals I'm missing from my food diet. Thank you. You've definitely helped significantly with this channel alone. Awesome, man. So here's the deal. It sounds to me like your liver's not processing nutrients very well, and this is very common. So you got the Nether Better Upgrade manual. If you'll step it up and use the coffee enemas, this will improve your liver's ability to metabolize nutrients, and your digestive processes will become stronger. Also, you might want to get pure desiccated liver from a good source, like grass-fed and no other ingredients. Desiccated liver has the enzymes that your liver's lacking right now that would help if you take a lot of desiccated liver for a while. Now, it can give you gas and stuff, I'm not going to lie, but it will drastically improve your physical energy for workouts and life, and it will put a lot of the enzymes in your liver that will help it get caught up and get a lot of things processed and out of the way. So in your case, I'd highly recommend those two things. Coffee enemas, one a day, preferably, and plenty of desiccated liver throughout the day, between meals. Perfect while you're fasting, okay? So you can look into all that and find the connection between liver processing food. Much love, friend. Next question. Hey, Nether, how long should one wait between meals while following Casey's food combination protocols? Much love. Well, the deal is it depends on what you ate. I mean, every food and combination of foods digests at a different speed. So what you can do is, if you have a specific meal you're curious about, you can just Google that and say, how long does it take this food to digest on average in most people's stomachs? And just go by that. Pretty good average there. But all foods digest at different speeds. Much love. Next question. In the best shape of my life in terms of physicality and vitality, but can't seem to shake depressive episodes. 20 years old. Tips. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of internal work, man. Depression comes from your deep down rooted beliefs about life. You're experiencing this world as a pretty dismal, depressing place, and that comes from your philosophy. And I understand that philosophy is there for good reason. Everybody's been through things that can bring a person down big time. But the honest answer here is rewriting your internal philosophy to where you are excited to get up every day because of what you believe in, okay? If you really want to have energy and vitality and make a difference with yourself and life, you have pretty good physical health at age 20, that's great. So rewrite your philosophy to keep it simple. And I know that's a lot easier said than done, but that is what it comes down to. Experiencing the world is a completely better place than the way you're experiencing it now, and it all comes from the internal beliefs you're carrying about reality. Much love, friend. Next question. I answered that one last time. Yo, Nether, I have a fatigue problem, probably due to excessive caffeine consumption. Yeah, adrenal fatigue, big time. Taking ashwagandha and gotu kola didn't seem to help. Reducing caffeine also did not. Well, I guarantee you haven't done either one of those things long enough yet to be saying that. But anyway, let's keep going here. Are there any more supplement behavior patterns to embrace to help? I use carbs mostly before workout, consume multivitamins D3, magnesium, ashwagandha, aloe chaka, and recently psyllium husk and diatomaceous earth. Yeah, here's the deal, man. If you've been relying on caffeine heavily for some time, think about how many years or months or whatever you were doing that. There's math there. You've been cheating and burning up your adrenal system that whole time, and now you stop and you change over to a healthier lifestyle, but you're expecting some kind of instant healing for something that took you years to mess up as bad as it is, okay? This is a process, so stick with it. You're doing the right things here. Just stay on your health journey. Do not give in and get back on that stimulant wagon, okay? And if you'll learn to do coffee enemas, that's the best way to start the day, and it won't result in adrenal fatigue. It'll actually result in healing, if anything, and a more blissful energy, not such a stimulated energy. So just a few things to consider, man. Much love. Next question. God dag, fellow Viking, I have searched your Q&A videos up and down for a similar question with no luck. So here's my question. How would you go about healing a frozen shoulder as quickly as possible? Well, me personally, I would take concentrated omega-3s, probably a high-quality flax oil for lubrication. I would take food-grade diatomaceous earth for silica lubrication and healing of the joint itself to get things moving again and remove calcifications. If it's frozen, you have calcification issues, so you need the high-dose vitamin K2 that's in my Nether Better Upgrade manual, the only truly high-dose brand out there that I've ever seen. And apple cider vinegar with meals. Apple cider vinegar is another thing that breaks down calcifications and helps calcium get back where it belongs in the body, so you're not drying up and seizing up in certain places. A few more things would be good is organic gotu kola and bee pollen if you're not allergic. So that's where I'd start. And then obviously, you need to physically work with the mobility, whatever that is, to expand on that mobility, range of motion just a little bit each day, okay? I'm not talking about injuring something, being too extreme, but just a little bit of discomfort, challenging it, a little more range of motion each day. That would be my approach from right where you're starting from. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether Beast. The flat bench seems to be the best for me. I tried different things, but heavy bench gave me the best upper body results. Do you have any tips to progress faster in terms of frequency, etc.? I usually do a push day, flat incline military press, skull crushers 2 times a week. I can get my bench up if I increase the calories, but I grow weaker if I decrease them. Okay, well, so that's one option, just get bigger. As far as progressing at it faster, I'm not the expert, but what has worked for me on bench press is load the bar a little, warm up first, and then load the bar a little heavier than what you can currently bench. Now set your safety bars and pins so you can't drop the bar on yourself, and unrack it and lower it slowly with as much control as possible. Try to even pause somewhere in the mid to lower range of the motion if possible, and if you can't, that's fine. You're being overpowered with a negative, and this causes your body to strengthen the nervous system and to add muscle fiber tissue to the areas, okay? I would do that 2 to 4 reps. That would be one of my bench press workouts. The other one would be work up to a 1 rep max and then drop the weight to maybe 80% of my max and do anywhere from 2 to 4 heavy working sets, depending on how I'm feeling that day, just to give the muscles a reason to grow a little more and get a little stronger. And I would do those similar to your frequency now. You could do 2 workouts a week like that. In my case, I actually spread those out further to get my best gains. But that's because of how many other things I had going on. So you can try a simple approach like that. Definitely works for me. Something you can try. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether. Congrats on all the subs. Thank you. What would you recommend for adding calories to a mass gainer smoothie? I put oatmeal, canola oil, and honey. Yeesh. But I'm starting to see adding oil to everything probably isn't the healthiest choice, even though canola oil... No, canola oil is not one of the healthiest oils. It's a man-made oil, and that's a marketing lie. Yeah, it's one of the worst things for you. Other people are already answering that. Look, canola oil is being marketed heavily, but it's a GMO crop. It's not even something real or natural, okay? Definitely not a healthy oil choice. Plus you're mixing oatmeal. You're mixing grains, canola oils, and honey, which is sugars. So this is a food combination nightmare for your gut. Now, as far as just making a shake that'll help you gain more, where's the peanut butter or the almond butter or the tahini or something actually heavy in there to gain on? All you've got here is some oatmeal, which you may or may not digest. I don't even digest it myself. It just irritates my gut, and then I shit it all out and it looks the same. So it's not like I can build anything off that, but maybe you can. Canola oil, eesh, and honey, sugar. So that honey's getting mixed in there with things that slow digest, so when you consume it, the honey's fermenting into alcohol and feeding candida in your gut, just so you know. So this is health havoc. Tell you what, you could get another better upgrade from me, or another great idea. My go-to dietary planning expert, this is for everyone's information. Key to Fitness Ryan Key, okay? he is the best I've seen. If you want to go over to him and see what he can offer for straightening you out on food combinations and meal planning, that would be of a huge benefit, because what you're doing right now is like pure chaos. All right? Much love, my friend. Next question. You mentioned cocoa being destroyed by sugar and chocolate. Could you explain this? I eat 90% dark, but want to know if I should go to 100%. You know what? I'm tired of explaining this. Research what refined sugar does to the human body. It is 100% detrimental to your health, okay? You know, it's toxic as fuck. It's that simple. All the research is out there, guys. I don't need to answer this over and over and over. Anybody who cares by now should know. Refined sugar is the best way to just be weak and brain dead and filled with disease, okay? It is. Much love. Next question. For people doing Ramadan, this means going without food and drink for around 19 hours every day for a month. What advice can you give on training and diet? Okay, I've already answered this. Check the timestamps. Next question. Hey Nether, I have a question regarding food combinations. You mentioned that fruit should always be consumed by itself. What about making a blueberry pea protein shake? Would that digest well? Well, you can try it. Being that it's a shake and it's blended up, you may digest it okay. If it gives you gas, you know that you're not really digesting it well. Okay, so you can test that for yourself on that one. Much love. Next question. Thoughts on Wim Hof method? Been over that. Been over the no-fap thing a million times. Moving on. Eating raw garlic for detox. Is it a good combination eating oats with oat drink, which is mainly sugars? Fuck no. Combining grains and sugars and consuming sugars in any way is terrible for you. Next question. Hey Nether, do you cycle your supplements or just take them year-round? I basically cycle everything. The way I do that is any supplement, no matter how good it is, and even if I believe that it doesn't do any harm year-round, just for common sense, I like to take a break of at least 3 weeks to a month, 1 to 2 times per year, on all of my supplements. So if you go through the Nether Better upgrade, at any given time there will be, I don't know, 3-4 things in there that I'm probably not taking right now, okay? But I will be again soon. I like to reset. It's not that any of those things are building up to toxic, but I've noticed that by taking a break and making my body adapt and not having them for a while and then starting up again, sometimes I get a nice boost of effect when I start those things again. And to me, it just feels like common sense and being reasonable and logical to make your body do its best to get whatever it can from nutrients in the environment once in a while, even if it's not getting optimal levels. It's just good to keep your body sharp at how to pick out the best of whatever you're eating. So I value that too. So I do take a month break from any of my supplements at least once and usually 2 times per year. Much love. Next question. What are your favorite exercises for fighting strength and the most useful? Pretty much everything on my channel, man. It's all geared around functional strength that applies to fighting or anything else. That's pretty much what the whole channel shows, is what I prioritize to have overall extremely high levels of functional ability physically. Much love. Next question. Feline. Hello, Feline. Any unconventional tips on how to recover from a concussion? Okay. Strangely enough, creatine can actually be useful recovering from a concussion, but I don't recommend creatine. It can be hard on the kidneys. If you're open to it, and I think you're female, so you might very well be open to this, natural progesterone cream, not doctor-made, not synthetic progesterone cream, natural progesterone cream from wild yams is actually shown in studies to help the brain build back its nerves and everything else that was damaged from accidents that cause brain damage, okay? So you might want to Google that, look into it. And basically anything anti-inflammatory. Whenever the brain's hurt, it's an inflammation issue. So learning about anti-inflammatory foods and herbs, and in the long run, ideally learning which foods are inflammatory to your body. We all tend to eat things that we may not realize we have at least a minor allergy to that are causing us systemic inflammation to some degree. So anything anti-inflammatory. So those would be my basic tips to look into to get started. on healing that faster. Much love. Oh, and also the nootropic adaptogens like gotu kola and ashwagandha, those build new neurons and circuitry in the brain. So right now would be a perfect time to be on them. You could turn this injury into an upgrade instead of a downgrade. Okay. Much love. Next question. Any experience or opinion on yohimbine or yohimbe? Yes. I used to play around with that stuff. I take really high doses. This was a long time ago. I really loved the rush and the feeling from it. I remember playing full-on tackle football with no gear all day with this big group of people, and people were going to the hospital. I mean, it was crazy. I did that for like 8 hours straight on yohimbe. And I remember sitting in my bathtub after that, black and blue from head to toe, and the next day being so sore I almost couldn't move. But just, man, it can get you in the zone for action, that's for sure. So that's all I really remember of it. It was like decades ago when I was doing that. Next question. Hey Nether, you are my true inspiration. Cool, man. Thank you. It's an honor. Since you have come about it, feel that there is some already a ripple effect of positivity in the world. Well, thank you, my friend. And that's because of you. There would be no ripple effect without you, okay? I'd be sitting here talking to myself in an echo chamber. It wouldn't mean anything. Well, it wouldn't mean anything to the world. It still means something to me. But anyway, you are that ripple effect. And without you guys, I can't, it's us that changes the world. So thank you. Question. I just started taking diatomaceous earth. Is it normal to feel more drained? It is if you're going through a serious die-off. You're probably killing a lot of candida right now, so yes. That's pretty common. Also, have you ever taken higher than the recommended dose? Yes. I've taken higher. The one drawback I've noticed of that is it can constipate you. When you take that much of that powder in one intake, sometimes it'll kind of get stuck in one spot in the gut and you have to drink extra water to get it through. So I would say if you want to take higher doses, don't take it in one dose. Spread it out through the day. Take like 1 tablespoon here and 1 tablespoon here and 1 tablespoon here. You can take a lot of it. It's just if you consume a big pile of it at one time, it can get a little bit, it can have a little bit of a minor constipating effect. That's the only drawback to taking a big dose at one time, just so you know. Will it enhance the effects? Yeah, if you're taking multiple doses a day, it's gonna make that detox occur even faster. Now, if the detox, and this goes for anybody with a Netherbed or Upgrade manual or anybody doing any kind of detox, if it gets to be too much and it's hard to manage, you're suffering so much from the detox you're going through, reduce, instead of increasing to try to get through it faster, reduce whatever you're using to detox with. Slow down a little bit, make it manageable. Because the last thing you need is to get so sick you can't even cope with life, and you end up giving up on your detox altogether. So whenever it gets to the point where it's getting hard to manage, guys, just back off a little. Don't stop detoxing, but just reduce a little bit. Remember, you're still detoxing. You're just slowing it down enough that it's manageable, okay? Because we all have other responsibilities in life. Most of us can't afford to be flat on our back, sick as hell, going through a detox. So just know that, guys. Anytime the detox is getting too strong, that means that it is what it is. Your detox is so potent, it's too much right now. So slow down a little bit, okay? And then over time, as the body gets less toxic, you'll be able to speed up the process and it won't be overwhelming. You'll be able to finish it off, okay? That's just good common knowledge for anybody who's doing natural detox methods. Much love. Next question. How do you develop stronger ligaments, tendons, and joints? You once said most people would injure themselves with the loads your body is comfortable with. So how to adapt your body to that? Okay. So a lot of these big partial range of motion moves that I get criticized by people that look like potatoes for doing, they're allowing so much weight to pull on the tendons that you get bigger tendons from things like that. If your nutrition and recovery is strong enough to build up your tendons at a speed that will keep up. A lot of guys snap their tendons because their health isn't good enough. Their tendons are not able to regenerate or keep up with their muscles, and especially geared people, because their body's putting all their nutrition into their muscles and it's not taking good care of their tendons. But for a natural, lifting and holding heavy-ass things that are really heavy in total weight, even if it's in a partial range of motion, there's still certain tendons that are bearing the full weight, okay? So for tendon strengthening, that's huge. The other side of it's all the nutritional stuff. And there's many nutritional supplements, herbs, products, lifestyle improvements that can help feed your tendons better. You can definitely get all of that in the Nether Better Upgrade Manual, or do a lot of your own research on good tendon nutrients and see what you feel comfortable using. Much love. Next question. If wanting to apply occlusion training to forearms, where do we place the occlusion band? You know, you could try around the forearm, but from everything I've seen, nobody's had much luck with that yet. They just keep it on the same place. Wrap it around the upper arm, because think about it, the blood's still trapped in your forearm just like it's trapped in your upper arm. Everything past that choke point is trapping blood, so you can just do it in the same place you do for your upper arm. Much love. Next question. Nether, you will still talk about spiritual matters like in the old channels? Question mark. I found it very useful, the animal topic totem. Yeah, actually, I don't go into that stuff too much on this channel because a lot of people actually take offense to that and unsubscribe and stuff. So I do have another really woo-woo channel if you're interested. Just email me and I'll point it out to you. My email is netherbeastunderground@gmail.com. And we can get however far out on any topic on the other channel. Much love. What was your first official job? Anything from grocery clerk to handing out flyers? Well, as far as official, where it went on some government records. Now, I've had better jobs before this, but the first official job where I was on somebody's record somewhere was probably, I think it was working at a Safeway, stocking shelves and running the register and stuff like that a long time ago. Yep, that was probably my first official job. Much love. Your next question is not appropriate for this channel, so I'm going to delete that. Moving on. Okay, hey brother, what are your thoughts on coffee enema before or after a workout? Before, dude. The only time when I'll do 2 coffee enemas in one day is when I want to have the best workout ever. I'll do a second one, and I'll wait and clear it out and clean myself up and all that, and then go do my workout. That turbocharges it. It puts me grounded. It puts me in the moment. It puts me in the zone. It puts me euphoric about what I'm doing. I've set a lot of personal bests that way, okay? In the same regard, what about diatomaceous earth before or after workout? Thank you and much love. The diatomaceous earth wouldn't really matter. It's not like it's going to stimulate your workout. It's just going to improve your connective tissues and skin and bones and joints over time. So really doesn't matter what time of day you take it, okay? Much love. Next question. Hey Nether, do you think it's smarter to start using all the supplements in the Nether Upgrade Manual at once, or just start with one supplement and slowly implement them as weeks go on? I wouldn't say either path is really smarter. It depends on what you're looking for. What that manual is, it's this super oversimplified version of things that took countless frickin' hours to figure out how to put together. So people underestimate, they go, oh, this is so simple, it's no big deal, but they don't realize what it took to figure that out and to test which things boost the effects of other things. So the advantage of just getting on all of it right away is faster and more upgrades and all that faster. The advantage of starting one thing at a time is you can take notes of what changed when you introduced each one of those things, and you could like make a journal explaining that, and then certain people would be really interested to hear your feedback or your take on what each one of those supplements did specifically to your life, mentally, emotionally, physically. So that'd be a really cool like scientific endeavor. So there could be an advantage on either side. Depends what you're really interested in more. Both good paths. Much love. Hey Nether, what are your thoughts on using bentonite clay activated charcoal instead of diatomaceous earth? I can't seem to get a hold of the latter for now. Also, do you think stacking these detoxification agents with a 5 to 7 day water fast could prove to be beneficial, or would it impact autophagy in a negative way? Cheers, Nether, and sorry for the long question. I can't wait to get a hold of your Nether Better upgrade once payday hits. Much love, Shaman. Well, thank you, Joshua. In the Nether Better Upgrade Manual, I have all 3 of the supplements you mentioned there, the diatomaceous earth, the bentonite clay, and the activated charcoal. And I would say any one of them works in a similar manner as far as the detox processes. The one advantage that the diatomaceous earth has over the other two is how much silica it gives your body. You'll notice smoother, happier skin and better hair and better joints, better circulation. But they're all really potent and powerful, and they all detox basically the entire plethora of nasty things that are in the human body. So you can use any one of those interchangeably, you can cycle them, or you can just pick your favorite. Or you can mix them all and drink them all in one drink, really, because they're all going to do the same thing. They're all going to magnetize junk out of your body. So, yes, and on a water fast, I would use those things, absolutely. You know, the point of a water fast is to detox, so why not add in some things that'll make it, you know, that much stronger of a detox, so when you're done with it, your body's in that much better of a reset state where everything's fresh and ready to work well. Now, this term autophagy or whatever, I forgot what that means. But what I said still stands. I know that those things would contribute to a water fast, definitely. Much love, man. Next question. Hey, Nether, I have a special question relating to young men and teenagers of my generation. So you're going to share some of your life story for context. Oh my God, this is long. You have a rare bone disease known as fibrous dysplasia. My left humerus that leaves the bone extremely weak, and I've broken it 4 times in my life. It prevents you from doing most contact sports. As a kid, you were bullied a lot and had no self-confidence, but I always loved the sport of boxing. However, as a kid, I tried it out and was too scared to pursue it and quit out of fear. This never sat well with me and affected my confidence quite a lot. As a young teen, I found out about my disease, and for years I sat while doctors told me I couldn't do any contact sports. One day I decided I needed to box and face my fears of personal development, for my personal development, and I went on a rite of passage style journey. Awesome. I'm loving this story. This is an interesting read. This is a good story. A few arm breaks later, and a discovery of my passion for fighting and lifting occurred, and I was able to do something I wasn't supposed to become a champion. You became a champion boxer, man. Wow. In the most brutal sport of sports despite my disease. As if the universe intended, as my goals in the sport were met and satisfied, I broke my arm in training and I made my journey of rebuilding all over again, but now my passion is entirely with lifting. Well, sure, you're already a champ. You already conquered that. That is so cool, man. You should write a book or something to inspire people. A lot of people use such little things for an excuse to do nothing with their life, and look at what you've done, man. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I've hung up my gloves now in favor of the barbell, and I still box for cardio. I don't let my disease get in the way of my training. I've done hill sprints with a cast on many times. Mentally tough, man, to say the least. During this period in my life, I put obstacles in my way just so I could break through them, and never once did I want things to be easy. Wow. I tell you this because I find that my mentality is a lot different than most of the young men I know, and interact with, and I know very few who could walk my path, to say the least. There's a distinct lack of rites of passage and willingness to better oneself in young men these days, and I feel we are in an age where we need these things the most. You're absolutely right. See, you found that truth inside yourself. That's one of those ones that lives here that the world doesn't tell you because they don't know about it, apparently. I totally agree with you. That's an incredible testimonial. I could not agree more. And this is why I have a beef with, things like Jason Blaha's fitness channel, where all he basically does is try to encourage people to expect nothing good from life, to accept mediocrity, and that if anybody does anything that's not mediocre, they're some kind of an idiot, and you shouldn't listen to them. You know, it's people like you that I think everybody should be listening to, and the world would be a hell of a lot better place. Because like you say, the attitude that these young men have been programmed with, it's so sad. You try to, not really the people on this channel, this is an exceptional group, but a lot of these young men out there, you try to share something great with them and they're like, fuck you, liar, you know, everything's down, everything's shit, everything's bad, nothing good's possible. I have, you don't know, I'm all afflicted with this and that's impossible and blah, blah, you know, and it's just, anyway, I find your story super inspiring. I wish it was a book, and I wish thousands and millions of people were reading it right now. Awesome, man. Much love. Next question. I've started the Vitality stack and I've started to get the shits. Any ideas? Well, okay. The one thing in that stack that may be doing this that's not just a detox reaction is the magnesium. Are you taking a nice big dose of magnesium powder? And if you are you combining it with a very heavy meal? Okay? The heavier the better, because otherwise the magnesium will give you the shits. All right? That's why I wrote in the manual, combine this with heavy food so you don't get the shits. Now, if it's not that, then you're simply talking about a detox reaction. A lot of people are going to shit out a lot of weird things when they get on a Vitality stack that starts strengthening their organs. Their body's going to start cleaning out a lot of shit. So, it's one of those two things, possibly a combination of both. Much love. Next question. Due to my living schedule, I have a 4 to 6 hour eating window, and I would like to eat and you mentioned eating before working out can have effects. If so, what may they be? Okay, well, I literally answered this on the last Q&A, and you didn't even listen to the answer, and so you're just asking me the same question again, man. Can't do it. That's disrespectful to everybody's time. So, much love. It's been answered. Are you fishing for me to give a different answer? Because I've given my answer clearly on those things, okay? And asking me again is not going to cause me to give some different answer that you're fishing for. So you've got my answer. It's recorded, guys. Much love. Next question. I got some little stiffness in my posterior delts and teres major. Any nether style exercises to get it stronger? Thanks, man. I don't know. If you're just talking about strengthening like rear delts and stuff, hell, I just like regular old wide grip palms facing forward pull-ups for that. And then you want to hang after your set. Hang under the bar and stretch the muscles as hard as you can. Not as hard as you can, but as relaxed as you can. Let them lengthen. And whenever you're training those muscles in that area, when they're pumped, stretch them. That's how you'll elongate the fascia and actually get some room in there so things aren't so tight, okay? Stretch the area while pumped. That's going to help a lot. Next question. Hey, Nether, I'm going to listen to binaurals in my sleep. Do you have any wisdom to share regarding this? No, that's good. That's good. That can help. It's repetition, and your subconscious is listening even while you're sleeping. So that can be effective, yes. Go for it. Next question. How can I cure my type 2 diabetes? I've done a keto diet, and it kept my blood sugar levels in check, but it didn't stop my insulin resistance, and wasn't sustainable as a lifestyle. I tried a low-fat, high-carb diet, and my insulin resistance got better, but my blood sugars were still high. Yeah. Could it have been me eating too many low-fat, non-starchy carbs with high sugars, like bananas? Yeah, definitely. If you're insulin resistant, things like bananas and watermelons, they're not for you. They're not for me. I know that. For me, exercise and intermittent fasting has made the biggest impact on curing type 2 diabetes. And it is cured. I was in the 300 ranges, okay? Now I'm in the 90 to 120 range every time I check, okay? I intermittent fast, I exercise a lot, I have a lot of healthy supplements and herbs, a better mindset, and between all those things, I went from full-on terribly diabetic to completely cured. And I have a glucose meter, so I don't have to go have a doctor show me that. I don't need a licensed medical expert to explain to me what the numbers mean. So yeah, that's my 2 cents, man. That's what's helped me the most. Much love. What would you recommend I do to get a physique similar to Bane from Batman: The Dark Knight Rises? I don't know, man. I'm not a fanboy of Bane. I haven't even stared at his body. You'd have to tell me what that is. Now, I remember somebody saying that actor got good traps, so you got everything on Alpha Destiny's channel in mind to build the best traps out there. It's already been showed, so I'm not going to just answer things that half the videos on this channel are already there for you to do that with, man. Apply yourself. Much love. Next question. Super Mr. Aposo. I am having blood in my semen. Hematospermia. A pinch feeling when I ejaculate and when pinkish gel pieces come out after I urinate. I don't know if it's a prostate issue or kidney stones, blood clot, or something else. I have seen a doctor about hematospermia. They took a urine sample and said it'll heal on its own. It has come back. Any suggestions, herbal remedies, or solutions? Thanks for your help. Well, since you don't know the actual cause, it's kind of hard for me to have a direct recommendation for you. Now, it did heal and it came back, so I don't know if you're doing anything in your life where you're crushing your balls. You would probably know that if you did. So more likely maybe it is a kidney thing. Maybe. And if it is, the best thing to do is address your entire lymph system and clean your body from the inside. Which kind of goes back to another better upgrade manual, or just learning, doing research on kidney health and urinary tract health, testicle health. You can do all your own research on this, and whatever speaks to you, get proactive and do something. Take responsibility for your own health. That's the big step here. You're going to sit around waiting for imaginary forces to fix you, who only profit from your disease, or you're going to take responsibility for your own health and figure this out and improve your health. And I absolutely believe you can, and you'll find you can if you have the courage to do so, okay? So, being that I don't know the specific cause, I can't really say anything specific. So if I were you, I'd do my research on all those areas and apply a plan that takes better care of my health in all those areas. Or get another better upgrade manual and just apply all that so that your entire health comes up, and that'll probably resolve it regardless of what it is. So those are a few ideas. Much love. Next question. Hey, another question about your previous training style. How could you achieve progressive overload if you change exercises? I already answered this in the last Q&A. Hey man, what are your thoughts on public schools? Will they give me cancer? They could. The emotional damage there could lead to it down the line, if you're being serious. Basically, you've got teachers who have been robbed of a decent income. They get paid nothing. They get treated like shit because corrupt governments have stolen all the money for schooling. So kids and teachers get the fuck you, and then cop-out parents blame the teachers for their own kids failing at school and not being able to behave. I don't know who in the goodness of their heart and their right mind would even bother being a teacher anymore in a public school. You got asshole kids blaming you for everything. You got asshole parents blaming you for everything. Probably even the asshole government that stole all your funding's blaming you for everything. So I don't even see the point. Somebody has to do it for these poor snot-nosed, insane children with all sorts of emotional trauma that they're inflicting on each other. My take on public school is it's basically like a public prison system. You get stuffed in a box, you get emotionally all fucked up and destroyed emotionally, and you come out with some sort of an education that makes you just dumb enough to vote wrong and occupy some meaningless job somewhere as a slave. That's pretty much my take on the public school system. Much love. Next question. What are some special exercises or methods you have for increasing your overhead press shoulder size? There's videos on that. There's Q&As on that. Next question. This may be an oddly worded and long question to buckle up, and hopefully it comes out good. So you've been training for 20 plus years and have been making consistent gains, and you're now 40 question marks. Yeah, somewhere around there. And you're the strongest you've ever been, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I am. Overall, yes. So my question is, what age do you think a natural, assuming perfect health, nutrition, and vitality, will hit his genetic potential and absolute strength, and when do you think you will hit yours? Obviously, you can't keep progressing infinitely and be rack pulling 5,000 pounds when you're 80. Well, I know for sure you can't. I don't know for sure I can't because I don't have that rule, see? The reason I've already done things that people don't believe in, people half my age were telling me they were getting old decades ago, is because my mind deviated away from the herd and let go of all those rules a long time ago. So I'm not going to put any predictions on what I can do because that would only be a limitation. You decide for yourself what you believe is possible and understand that your expectations are going to have everything to do with what your cells do over time. Okay? Much love. Next question. What are your thoughts on Brian Alsruhi? You've both made a big impact on my training. No idea who that is, man. No idea. I don't get any of this from other people, okay? Comes from more directly from the source than that. I'm not a people watcher. I barely have time to keep up with the channels I do very much admire, like my friends and collaborators. I barely have time to keep up with their content. So last thing I'm doing is looking around for more random people to follow. I just don't have time. I'm spending all my time leading. So anyway, next question. You got 2 questions for me. You heard me say you wear a tiger eye necklace. What are the reasons for choosing that stone, and what stone could help increase strength, growth hormone, and testosterone? Actually, that stone could help with all that, okay? It does increase strength and groundedness, which means more physicality. And I picked it because it came into my life on its own. And when stones do that, it's because you're supposed to have them. I didn't even pick it. It came to me. It found me. Because it belongs with me. As have certain other key stones that are in this pouch. And that's one of the things when you go to pick out stones, let whatever speaks to you be what you pick. Don't analyze it and think about it and read about it. Let the stone that reaches out to you in some way follow your instinct like a child and select that stone. It'll be the most appropriate one for you at the time. And don't ask me what stores or where to buy stones, guys. Stones are stones. I don't care where you buy it from. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I hope you're doing fine. Let's say you had a cranial eye, nerve palsy of the left eye, which caused everything beyond 20 inches in front of you to be seen double. How would you try to heal yourself so that your nerve can once again function normally and your eyesight returns to how it was? Seeing double images can surely make one's life harder. Thanks a bunch, and wishing you wonderful health. Well, you too, friend. You know what comes to mind immediately for me? My first stack that I would use. Sunflower lecithin, organic gotu kola, and organic ashwagandha, okay? They build nerves in the brain, which is where your eyes are, so of course they're going to work on that too. Now another thing with key nutrients for eyes is bee pollen, so if you're not allergic to bee pollen, I would add that to the stack. Sunflower lecithin helps rebuild nerves. The ashwagandha and the gotu kola build new nerves and neurons and coordinate the body's systems in whatever direction they need to go. So that would be my first approach, is that stack right there. I would try that for a few months and then note what's changed. And if you do that, report back and we'll see what's up and how you're doing and where we can go from there if needed. Okay? Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I'm 18 years old and I'd like to compete in professional strongman one day. But in my eyes, there's no vitality in it at the moment. I mean, guys there eat really absurd amounts of food and they mix all kinds of bad food. And from what I'm hearing, the gear usage is quite high. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Anytime people are trying to compete at the highest level in the world, they're going to do whatever they can to get the highest number, you know. So you're not willing to pay such a big price on vitality and health to become a pro because the greatest part of it to you is about the vitality. That's awesome, man. I love your priorities. I think that's going to serve you a lot better in the long run. I know that I will find a way to get to that level of strength while staying in the healthiest spectrum. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. Thank you, my friend, for everything. And soon I will try to send you a message on the astral. Oops, shh, we don't want to scare them. Yeah. All right, brother, cool. You know, think about some of the strongmen of old. Now, I haven't done all my research on all the numbers those guys put up, but I've heard things that some of them put up numbers that still haven't been beat in certain lifts. And those were guys that didn't have access to steroids, okay? So the little hater club, they can't even, I mean, they will. They'll just say, oh, he's on gear, because facts don't apply to people that just hate blindly. But clearly, for anybody logical, you know, those top number records were set by guys that were not on gear. So we know it's possible just from that. Even if nobody believes what I do, if nobody believes what any modern day natural does, because now anybody can just say you're on whatever. They can just believe whatever they want because that shit exists. But fortunately, we have the strongmen of old where you can see that it was recorded that some of the lifts they've done have not been surpassed to this day by anyone. So right there, we know it can be done. And I'm going to say it again. I don't buy into the idea that steroids add as much in the department of strength, especially not pound for pound. I don't think they add anything pound for pound. I think the only reason some guys get stronger on steroids is they're just getting bigger. That's it. Bigger muscle with more leverage. That's the only reason. So I highly believe that the majority of this true max lifting power is more based on your nervous system. And a natural lifter can have the strongest and clearest and sharpest nervous system of anybody out there. So depending on how big you get one day as a natural, you may be, I I don't even know where I'm going with that. I don't even know if they have weight classes in strongman. I don't even know. Now, they probably have natural strongman competitions, but who enforces that? Is it real? I don't know. I don't know, man. But I absolutely believe that if your goal is to have record-setting strength as a natural, you can achieve that in your life. I absolutely believe that, okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that. I love your priorities. And the thing is to remember, when you're prioritizing health and vitality, especially starting from such a strong age, you can have an incredibly long lifting career compared to these juiced up guys that go for broke and break something and then it's over. Their career's like this. It's a big spike and it's over. Yours can be like this. And who's to say how high of a high point you get over time? I wouldn't put any limits on it. You could be a world record setter in multiple lifts as a natural, especially if it's your life goal and you're already gearing towards that now and being proactive. If you don't let anybody talk you out of it with their weak thoughts and their weakness of emotion or whatever, you can do it, man. Hold that image and hold that fantasy, and it will manifest if you hold it long enough. Take the proactive steps that come to you. Follow your heart. Follow your higher guidance. I absolutely believe you can get there, man. I do. Okay, much love. Next question. Lastly, I noticed on me that I have some low energy issues generally, and I find myself feeling fatigued and tired and stuff like that. What I saw was that it might have to do with the nervous system. I also tried some yoga drills. When I do them, I feel immediately energy and ready to go and stuff. But otherwise, whatever physical activity makes me feel like crap, even walking. Well, shit. That's very interesting. That means right now in your life, yoga's fucking key, man. I've heard of this. I've heard of people opening the energy pathways in their body using yoga. That's why it's a very spiritual thing for some people who are aware of energy centers and chakras and stuff. I'd say if you notice that effect, that is the universe speaking to you, buddy. That's a big opportunity right there to do something for you that's going to be a breakthrough, okay? That's all I can say in response to that. Much love. Next question. Another question. Nether, you'll like this. Today I experienced sleep paralysis, which is the condition of your state of awareness and consciousness is awake, activated, but you can't move shit because your body's asleep. Yes. You're even looking through your eyelids. Isn't that interesting? Yes. It was a scary thing. Yeah, it really is for people that aren't used to it and don't know what it is. And I kind of like it afterwards. We talked about weird things together before, you know, but I also don't know how I'm going to react if I'll have it again next time and stuff. What's your experience with it? Is it related with the third eye opening or something? I don't know much about the third eye theories. Okay, so what it is your consciousness is awake and your body's asleep. This is an opportunity to astral project and to learn that you are not your body. This is an opportunity to take your consciousness and leave your body behind and go explore things. Now, I'm not going to say any more here before somebody gets scared. Oh, it's a dangerous cult from the devil or whatever. Head starts spinning because of superstition, so I'm not going to say any more. Look up astral projecting from the state of sleep paralysis, okay? That's how I learned to astral project. I used to just have horrible experiences in sleep paralysis and wonder what the fuck was going wrong. Now I use it and take advantage of it, okay? I'd highly recommend you go look into that. Much love. Next question. Another very serious question. I'm a distance runner, but this can apply to anything. I train hard, I'm passionate, and I have very good, hard sessions, but when it comes to competition, I fail all the time. I know that it's got to do with my mindset. How do I overcome a failure mindset? Well, by starting today, all you think about is success. You don't ever fantasize about fucking losing. Stop thinking about it, okay? When you think about what could go wrong, that's what you're telling the universe to bring to you. That's the experience you're choosing, okay? Now, depending on how much of that repetition exists in your subconscious, you need to start replacing it right now with fantasizing about what it feels like and looks like to win, until that's the only thing you know how to picture in your mind's eye. Now that's all you're telling the universe. That's all you're attracting to you. The only competition you'll have at that point is somebody else who's doing the same. Which one of you is pulling it harder? That vision of victory. That's it. Okay? Choose what you're manifesting more wisely. That's how you change this. Muhammad Ali, what did he say the whole time he was walking around mumbling to himself every day? I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I am the greatest. People that don't know about, law of attraction probably just thought he was a fucking weirdo that got hit in the head too many times. No, there was a method to that madness. His subconscious, that is the only thing it believed in. I am the greatest. He only knew how to manifest being champion because that's the only thing he ever programmed himself with. It's brilliant. Not simple. Brilliant. All right, think about that, man. Much love. Dean Henry. Just found out about your channel. It's fantastic. I'm looking forward to watching your videos. I do have a question. I used to take desiccated liver in the 70s and 80s, but got away from it. It's one of the best supplements I ever took. I'm going to start taking it again. Is there a certain brand that you recommend and how much to take a day? Thank you for any information, and thank you for your great YouTube channel. Keep up the outstanding work. Well, thank you, Dean. I just recommend that you get... There's not a whole lot of good brands out there. I think there's one from Argentina that's pretty popular because it's grass-fed animals in closest thing to their healthy environment, and they don't add antibiotics or anything. So just look for a cleaner brand like that. Now, as far and make sure it doesn't have other ingredients. Sadly, a lot of these modern day, desiccated liver's back in. Don't you remember how great it was? Buy our bottle. But then you look at it, it's like half whey protein or some bullshit, that totally fucks up the digestion and the whole point of it. So just make sure whatever you're getting is all desiccated liver and it's a good quality source. It's worth it for the extra money to get a good source. So you get all benefits from it. As far as the amount to take, I think it's a very individual thing. There's some people say they're totally pumped and hyperactive from 3 pills. There's other people that take like 80 pills a day, depending on how far you want to go with that. The times I remember using it, I would take like 10 pills a day probably, usually all in one meal, an hour or two before a workout, so I could feel that endurance effect, And I enjoyed using them before going running too. I noticed the endurance out there, and I enjoyed the well-being of having a liver. They helped my liver get caught up on a lot of things, and I noticed that the improvement in my sense of well-being. I've been better ever since I took desiccated liver for a few months, and it really got my liver caught up on a lot of things, and my health has literally been better ever since then, even without taking them. So that's just my 2 cents on that. Much love, man. Next question. Love the podcast with Alex. Awesome, thank you. So did I. Alex is just the greatest guy for so many reasons, man. Love all his content and just love him as a person. He's everything he seems to be and more, in real life. Totally awesome. All right. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I just sprained my foot. Not my ankle, but my foot, and the pain is on top of it. Okay, I've had that. While doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, stand up, you kick somebody with your foot instead of your shin. Oh, yeah. Got to learn about that. You got to get in deeper with them kicks or you're going to snap your fucking foot off. That's a great way to lose the fight. Anyway, I went to the hospital and they said it shouldn't be broken, so what can I do to increase my recovery and go back to training? Yeah, it's swollen tendons and ligaments. I don't know, and it's also swollen a bit, yeah. By the way, you have the manual. Great channel. Keep it up. Much love. Okay, so all the things in the manual are going to help you with your recovery. Another thing that will really help with this, whenever you bash something hard and get it swollen, ice. Make a tub of ice for your foot. Put it in there and ice it for maybe 20 minutes. And then take it out and let it warm up. And you can do that multiple times a day, and it'll really increase the anti-inflammatory effect, so the swelling goes down faster, which will let more nutrients in. Plus the coldness of the ice. Once your foot gets cold, after you take it out of the ice and it warms up, it'll cause increased circulation, which will also help it heal faster. So you can do both of those things, and if you want to make your own deep tissue healing oil just to have on hand for things like this, since you're obviously going to have things swollen when you're doing combat sports, you can make a 50% organic castor oil and 50% organic tea tree oil. Just mix those oils together. It's that simple, and they make a great deep tissue oil that you can apply to an area like that daily to get more circulation and blood flow to heal faster. Okay? Those are my tips for you, man. Much love. What's up, Nether? What do you think of good mornings? And can I do them the same days I do squats, twice a week? Is good morning where you're kind of like doing sort of like a stiff leg deadlift, but you got like your hands behind your head? And I think I know what a good morning is. It's kind of a nice glute, hamstring, lower back activator, if I remember right. And I think there's a twist involved where you're twisting your core. I know that I do that before certain leg workouts or even certain back workouts. I take like a wooden pole and I put it behind my shoulders, and I kind of do good mornings, and then I twist my core, you know, because I tend to be pretty stiff muscled through my back, so I like to loosen things up a little bit, get the mobility and the blood flow up a little bit before I do stuff. So, hey, if you're liking it, I'd say it's great. Yeah. Sounds like a great pre-squat exercise. Much love. Next question. Glenn Jones, cycling diatomaceous earth, is it necessary? Nah, it's not necessary, but I do just for common sense sake. You know, like I said, I think it's cool to take a break and let your body go without something like that, so it has to do its best to get silica from other things. It's good to challenge your body, in other words, with certain things, but there's actually no need to cycle it, especially, you know, any form of minerals. There's really no need to cycle it unless it's the type of mineral which you can get too much of. You know, for example, if a person's copper drastically outweighs their zinc, they need to take a break on copper until that levels out. The main four electrolytes most people are aware of: calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium. You know, if there's an imbalance there and one of them's way too high, a person might want to cut it out for a while. But with diatomaceous earth, silica doesn't throw anything else out of balance. So you're totally okay taking it year-round. It's not going to cause any problems at all. I just take a break here and there just because. I just do with every supplement. It just seems common sense, you know. Much love. Next question. Okay, how can I take iodine, magnesium, B12, K2, D3 naturally without taking supplements? Okay. So you can use Google and look up which foods are high in those nutrients. That's how. Moving on. Do you drink coffee? If so, how much per day? Can you also give your opinion on caffeine? No, I don't. I don't, because it just makes me too aggressive, too short-tempered, too impatient. Just dangerous, basically. Now, my opinion on caffeine: some people can handle the amount they use, and it's fine. They're still not throwing their body out of balance. But in a society of bad health, in a modern world of bad health and bad vitality, way too many people are relying on caffeine for their energy source, and then it gets to a point where that even doesn't work anymore, and then they're in real trouble, because what are you going to do next? Crack? You know, you need a stronger stimulant because caffeine doesn't even work, and it's adrenal fatigue, and it's eroding their health. So in and of itself, caffeine's just an herbal medicine, and there's nothing right or wrong about it. It can be used for positive things. But the general trends of society have people overusing it, relying on it, not doing anything to actually have real vitality. So they just continue to run on caffeine while they don't do anything about their health. And their health and vitality and nutrition just gets worse and worse and worse over the years, and they're not addressing the issues. So it's kind of a maturity thing. Can a person use caffeine in a mature, intelligible way and not be screwing themselves over somehow in the process? That's my basic, 2 cents on caffeine. Next question. Hey Nether, I love your content, brother, and I wanted to ask, as a novice, can I rotate lifts every 2 weeks? Of course you can, as I'm able to add to them every week still, but only variations, not classical lifts. Yeah, absolutely. Why? Classics are just, I don't even, why call them classics, They're not special. As long as you're hitting all your muscles and making gains and progression, sure, sounds great. Can I still do readings for people? Yes. If you want to hit me up about my shamanic services page, email me at netherbeastunderground@gmail.com, and I'll hook you up with that link, okay? Much love, my friend. Next question. Aris Krataios. Hey Nether, I would like to ask 2 questions which I don't think have been answered. Number 1, opinion on eggs health-wise. How much quantity of eating for assisting in a healthy way of building muscle? If you can give approximate minimum and maximum, even though of course it may differ from individual to individual, do you eat them yourself? Yeah, I eat eggs on my current diet. They have pretty much every nutrient except possibly vitamin C in them, so if you digest them well, it's a very nutrient-dense food for sure. you can cover a lot of nutritional bases with just eggs. So if they're a part of your diet, it eliminates the need for a lot of other things because they have so many nutrients. Now, some people digest eggs well, some don't. Some people thrive on saturated fat without getting high cholesterol, others don't. So this depends on your metabolism and your body type and your genetics, your DNA. Now, as far as the amount, it would be entirely different for everyone, dude. I don't even know how big you are. I don't know what your goals are. So that question has no math. I can't work with that. It's too vague. Your opinion on bananas, a similar thing, health-wise and used for muscle building. How much of quantity is healthy for eating if it can be combined with foods as well? In some African cultures, it's eaten with the main food. Yeah, I don't eat bananas. They're too sugary for me. As far as muscle building, I mean, the potassium's good if you metabolize bananas. Fruit should not be mixed with other foods. Every culture does bad food combinations. It doesn't justify it just because it's a cultural norm. In the U.S., it's meat and potatoes. In Italy, it's cheese and gluten. And over here, it's, meatballs and spaghetti. Every culture has terrible food combinations, so don't let that convince you that there's anything right about it. I think it's funny in this world how there's this common mentality that if cavemen did it a long time ago, it must be the right thing, Just we have better information than that now. We don't have to just emulate what long since dead cavemen did. So I'm not an expert on bananas. It depends on, again, your metabolism. Some people would do well not to eat any bananas. Some people would do well to eat lots of them. But you definitely should not be combining them with other food groups, no matter who you are. So you're into my individual perspective. No bananas for me. My body does great with eggs and not great with bananas. Okay? Those are pretty different metabolism types. One is a tropical world type metabolism, and the other is a cold place where almost nothing grows type metabolism. Well, I guess eggs grow everywhere. So that one's more diverse, who might have good genetics for eating eggs around the earth. But anyway, okay, so yeah, that's my take on that. You got to learn your own body. You got to learn your own metabolism. Definitely don't combine fruits with other foods. It just makes it into alcohol and candida in your gut. That's all it does. It destroys the benefits of fruit and turns it into a harm. Yeah, that's about all I can say on that. Much love, man. Jay Stellar. Hey, Nether, any experience supplementing food-grade hydrogen peroxide? Yes, I have. My wife still does that in our drinking water when it looks a little bit dirty. I get our drinking water out of a well, and sometimes there's a little bit of grit, like dirt grit in there from coming deep in the earth. And she freaks out when she can see that. Oh my God, it's dirty. So she puts a little bit of food-grade hydrogen peroxide in our drinking water because that's entirely safe, and it increases the oxygen level in the water, so it's more alkalizing. There's been various people use food-grade hydrogen peroxide in a bath, put a high concentration of it in bath water and sit in it and soak it in to alkalize the body, and they've been able to heal themselves of a variety of diseases that way. Look it up, guys. I'm not making this up, okay? So yeah, that's my take on that. You can clean like produce, okay, with food-grade hydrogen peroxide. That's what my wife does sometimes to make sure produce doesn't have germs on it and stuff. Much love. Next question. Some people claim the Jefferson deadlift may aid in scoliosis. Do you believe this as well? And would it be ideal to focus the deadlift with a weak side, small side forward, or even it up? I don't have the experience. Now, in theory, that makes sense to me. That if what you mean by scoliosis is the spine's turned one way, yeah, I would want to pull. Now, I would have to go feel this mind muscle to actually test to make sure what I'm about to say is accurate. But the way I'm visualizing it is let's say I'm bent to what is my left. Okay, this is my left shoulder and I'm bent to my left. I believe that I would want to have my right side forward so that I'm pulling harder with my right lat and the right side of my back in order to strengthen it and correct that imbalance over time. Now, I would still include some left foot forward reps just so I have strength both directions. I would keep those minimal. I'd probably, here's what I would do. On my left foot forward, the side I don't need to beef up, I would work my way up to a 1 rep max and then I would just stop. Then I would start on the right side. I would work my way up to a 1 rep max. Then I would drop the weight back down and do working sets, like 4 good working sets. That's just what comes to mind for me. And I would see if over the course of a couple months I could see the increased strengthening of the right side of my back start holding my posture a little bit better. And if it did, then I'd really go for it. And if it didn't make any difference, I'd probably drop it, okay? I'd be honest with myself. Doesn't really matter to me what other people say. My own trials are what shows me what's what. So that's my thought on that, man. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I have the manual and try to cut dairy. You told me last time because of my asthma I need to cut dairy and gluten. But there is a question in the manual. You talk about magnesium, but what is with calcium when I cut out dairy? I have no more milk products that contain calcium. And you need to balance between minerals, or do I have some misunderstanding? Much love and respect from Germany. Yeah, basically, much love and respect to you too. And the way this works is calcium is hyped by the dairy industry, but if you read the statistics, you'll find the countries that drink the most milk have the most brittle bones. Okay? The human body gets plenty of calcium just from vegetables. And overdoing your calcium makes you brittle, and it gives you arterial sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, dementia, all kinds of shit from all the plaque and calcium buildup. Humans are drastically deficient in magnesium, which stops those buildups. And magnesium is more needed in people's diets for strong bones. Again, a human will get more than enough calcium from vegetables. It's completely unnatural for us to be stealing baby cow growth formula, and then you got some industry that teaches you need that or you're going to have weak bones. Really? That's completely illogical and goes against everything in nature, and right there, that's a major red flag. It's propaganda, dude. Since I quit dairy and started taking care of my bones like in a real way with the supplements they really need, my skeletal system is way the hell stronger and better than it used to be. Just so you know, man, much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, my dad smoked for 30 years cigarettes and has liver problems. Do you think the Nether Better Upgrade manual that I bought can heal him, or do I need to search for other detox methods first? Thanks and much love to you. Thanks and much love. You helped more people than you ever think with this channel. Keep it going. Well, thank you, friend. That means the world to me. The things in the manual could heal your dad into a much better body, yes, but only if he likes that idea, only if he looks in there and believes in it. If he scoffs at it, don't even bother. It's not going to work, okay? He's not going to get anything. So it entirely depends on him. Is he open to that? Does he believe in natural healing? Does he believe in vitality? Would he like to try those things? Because if not, you're kicking a dead horse, okay? So it really comes down to that. It'll work if he will engage himself and do those things and believe. If he has any expectation of it working, that will allow it to work, yes. Your next question says, you're 16, you're an ectomorph. It says, now that you say peanut butter and tahini shakes are good to put some calories, but there's a problem. To eat every day the same. If you misunderstood, I don't mean only shakes in one day. I mean as a snack every day. Because I try to cut dairy and gluten, and it is for me a hard time because my nutrition was before with 95% dairy and gluten. Well, shit, bro. You're probably saving your life now getting off that crap. So it's a little hard to understand in your wording. You're saying you don't want to drink those shakes every day because it's boring. I understand that, but when it comes to bodybuilding, I mean, look at Jay Cutler. He doesn't even like food because he's had to eat too much of it. He has no favorite meal. He does not like eating because it's a job. And that's true. And especially as an ectomorph, that's the hardest part of the job for you guys. You guys always work out well, but getting you to calm the fuck down and eat enough is difficult. So, I don't really know what to tell you. If you're looking for someone to help you do meal planning that can actually taste good also and be fun and be productive, my go-to expert on that, Key to Fitness, Ryan Key, in the information box, okay? He can really help you with anything diet related. He's an expert. He's better than me there, and I'll just admit it. That's why I'm sending you his way. Much love. Next question. Is 2 days upper body, 2 days lower body, 2 days HIIT cardio a week too much? I don't know, is it? Are you achieving progressive overload? Learn about progressive overload techniques and test yourself. If you're achieving progressive overload, then it's not too much. If you're not, then your recovery is not keeping up with your training. You tell me, man. You're asking it like it's an arbitrary rule, like I'm supposed to, Jason Blaha you and tell you that anything outside of doing a 5x5 on 3 boring lifts is stupid. Dude, it's not too much if you're progressing at it. So if you're healthy enough that you're progressing at that, that's awesome. And if you're not, then you need more health and vitality to be able to train at that frequency, okay? Much love. Next question. Any exercises I could do to increase throwing strength? Yeah, I answered that last time. Next question. Just finished your segment with Alex, and I had a question about Velvet Bean. I know you talked about synthetic dopamine and how it differs, but can the dopamine from Velvet Bean be addictive? Kind of like how porn and masturbation releases dopamine, so a lot of people end up getting addicted, or is it not such an immediate or large release? Thanks. Yeah, you won't even feel what you're expecting there. It's not like what you're describing. And there are many other active components in that plant that balance and alter its function. It's not just a dopamine plant, all right? Nature isn't stupid like that. So I notice 0 addictive tendencies, and nobody that I've read their reviews so far has ever said anything about any addiction to it, okay? So do your own research and see if it confirms what I just said. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, congrats on the trap bar PR. Thank you. Can a large trampoline be used for rebounding? Absolutely, and it'd be more fun that way. If you're one of these fortunate people who has one of those big trampolines, man, go for it. What a fun way to drastically improve your health, and it only takes like 3 minutes a day. Awesome. Next question. Hey, Nether, much love, brother. Can you recommend a routine or your routine for connected tissues like joint, wrist, knees, and elbows? I've answered this question now in every way possible over and over. Subjecting your tendons to the heaviest loads and getting another better upgrade are my 2 best hacks for increasing tendons because they address both sides of it, stimulation and nutrition and recovery. Yin and yang, basically. Much love. Next question. Are you going to make a video of you lifting heavy in a commercial gym? That would be awesome. I don't know, maybe someday. I don't have any immediate plans for that. Not a member of any commercial gyms, and furthermore, unless I got there okay, there's nothing that a guy like me could do in a commercial gym without being kicked out anyway. There's not a single fucking thing I would do that all the little sheepies in the gym wouldn't take offense to. So that would have to be a pretty special production. Next question. I want to try the Herschel Walker routine. How do you think I should split up the reps and sets up? I don't know, man. Any way you can. I have no idea what your current fitness is. Now, when I did Herschel Walker routine, I think I did a lot of sets of 20, and towards the end on some of those I was down to sets of 10, okay? And every time I felt recovered enough to do another one, so I'd do my set of 20, wait a few minutes, do my set of 20, and after a while throughout the day, maybe I was waiting 5 minutes between sets so I could get another 20, It's hard to remember, it's been years ago, but I remember doing a lot of sets of 20 and 10 when I was going through Herschel Walker's workouts, and that pace seemed to work out for me. There was other times when I challenged myself and I started out with sets of 50, and I still got through the workouts, but the later sets in the workouts were much lower rep and it took a lot more sets. So I felt like by starting out on sets of 20, where I'm strong and I'm not draining myself anywhere near failure, I could get way many more reps into that workout before I'd start fatiguing at all, okay? So that's my 2 cents, something you can try. Much love. Hey, Nether, thanks for the information and inspiration. You're more than welcome, friend. I have 2 questions. Number 1, what do you think of Alex's novice program? Is it good for a week, 1 month experienced guy, or should I gain some strength to use that program? His novice program, I've seen it and I really liked it, but I don't know what it's like to consider myself weak. I don't know what I'd be looking at if I felt like I was weak and I was looking at that program. Now, I've never been one to back down. I'm not intimidated by programs. Like back when I read Arnold's workout program when I was like 17 or whatever, or 18 or something, I just emulated it. And yeah, it was overtraining in a sense, and I didn't know anything about recovery or health, really. But what I'm saying here is, if you look at the program and you want to do it, you should. And if it's just too much volume or too much work, reduce it a little. If there's, if you can cut out a few sets of an exercise here and there to get through it and still cover your whole body, you're going to get gains. I'll tell you this, whatever Alex designs is very well designed, okay? So the program itself is great. It's a matter of, do you feel like you can tackle a program like that? Do you have that much confidence now? I don't know. You got to judge that for yourself. Your second question, can a weak 1 month experienced guy perform box squats? Sure. I mean, start light, start with a bar, so as you learn the movement, you don't get hurt or have any accidents or something. But like I always say, people act like the so-called big three are somehow the foundational moves for a beginner. Those 3 lifts are no more easy and no safer than any of the other shit people do. Not at all. And in some cases, they're more dangerous and they're actually more difficult to learn. So, yeah, nothing wrong with learning box squats. That's no more dangerous or anything than just learning standard squats. It's just a slightly different procedure. So yeah, just be reasonable. Set up your setup to where it's safe. You got safety bars set, so if you lose the bar, you can drop out from under it and not get hurt. Just train smart so that you won't get hurt. And there's no reason not to do box squats. Absolutely. Says I can do regular barbell squats because... Oh, you can't, because of the mobility issue and my small gym, and don't enjoy doing goblet squats. I just want to drop them. Yeah, try box squats. Maybe you'll connect well with that exercise. Sure. Says, can I replace them with box squats? You sure can. I guess it requires less ankle and knee mobility. Yeah. Alex's novice program has box squats instead of regular squats. So are they ideal for immobile guys as me? Do you have any other squat alternatives? Yeah, I do pin squats, which is kind of a similar, it's almost a similar principle. You're not sitting beforehand, but the positioning is different, and I do lack mobility in my ankles. By the time I make it down to what most people call parallel, my heels are starting to come off the ground. So for me, that's super difficult to balance a fucking barbell on my back and then squat it free weight style. It's like almost fucking impossible. So I found that doing pin squats, the positioning of my feet is almost more like a deadlift, and that allows me to keep my feet flat even going as low as parallel. So anyway, for people with lack of mobility, yes, that's great. Now ideally you should still stretch your Achilles tendons and aim for more mobility over time. Even if you never use it for standard squats, it doesn't matter. When you know your mobility is a little shorter than somebody else's, and I'm working on this, work on slowly elongating those areas so you have a little bit better mobility. But as far as gains in strength and muscle mass and all that, you can't go wrong with box squats. Just as good as regular squats as far as just, getting bigger and stronger. So, yeah, that'll work. And in some ways, they'll make you more explosively strong because you're starting from the bottom of the lift. So, in a sense, it's even more functional brute strength. And it's a little more athletically inclined. So, yeah, I actually prefer box squats or pin squats over normal squats. So-called normal squats, whatever. All right, cool questions. Moving on. What are your thoughts on apple cider vinegar? Raw apple cider vinegar with meals is extremely good for your health. Also, raw apple cider vinegar is the best shampoo and conditioner for your hair. Cheap, simple, one wave. Wash your hair, rinse it a little, boom, done. Hair will be great, scalp will be healthy, pores will be cleaned out, hair will grow better. And for internal use, it's better for your metabolism, better for your blood sugar, helps calcium go back in the bones and not deposit where it shouldn't, improves digestion. It's a win-win, man. It's a great tonic for something so simple and affordable. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, do you have any advice for someone who works around radioactive isotopes every day for work? I've already began supplementing with iodine and plan on getting your manual this week. Keep up the amazing work with your channel. You deserve the attention and recognition. Well, thank you, James. It's good that you're going to get the manual, James, because the detox methods included in that manual, one of the things each of those methods is especially good at is getting radiation out of the body. And I'll throw one extra thing in here for you that's not in the manual. People can add this if they want. I didn't include it in the manual because some people don't understand about electrolytes and they would drain themselves with electrolytes, but that's sauna. A simple steam sauna, like the little cheap $100 tent version that I have, is really good for getting radiation out of the body. So that and the other detox methods in the Nether Better Upgrade manual will be pulling a lot of radiation out all the time. So whatever it is that's slipping by your gear and slipping by your iodine and getting in your system, you can detox it quickly. And ideally, as long as your rate of detox is keeping up with the rate of intake or even surpassing it, you know, everybody on this planet has a certain amount of radiation levels in them. So I believe that you'll be able to get yours down low enough you'll be okay under those circumstances. It's great that you're protecting yourself with iodine. That's obviously number one, because you are being exposed. And that helps a lot, but I would say to compensate is to master not master, they're not even hard to do, but just to learn to implement the detox methods that I use on the regular, and that'll really help you, okay? And some of the main ones there: diatomaceous earth, the sauna, the coffee enemas, big time, activated charcoal, and the clay, bentonite clay. Those are all good at pulling radiation out of the body. And you can Google it too and look up ways to get radiation out of the body, and you can add even more protocols depending on how serious you want to get and how much radiation detox you want to do on a regular basis and how serious you are. There's a variety of methods. So, but my favorites are in the manual and the ones I just described. Much love, man. Next question. You hope all is well, and you hope this doesn't sound too woo-woo. Well, it's not too woo-woo for me. Hopefully it doesn't scare anybody else off, right? In a question I had asked, you said we must be more open to anything. Now okay. Now my question is that sometimes I get this shiver. It feels good all over my body when I feel as if I've understood something on a different level. Is this a way how my higher consciousness is communicating with me? Yes. In fact, if you go research people who eventually make real contact with their spirit guides, a lot of them describe that sensation is something that they began to realize was always indication of someone communicating a higher idea with them. So yes, your recognition is true. You can trust yourself on that. In those moments, you are connecting to higher streams of information. And they may sound too good to be true, but I would highly recommend you focus on those thoughts even more and forget all the ones of this world. And watch how your reality can evolve and change. Much love, friend. Next question. Final Bison. Probably the weirdest question I can think of, but does dick size increase from consumption of certain vitamins, or is it more of a genetic trait? Well, certain vitamins, you could say that if a person's deficient in certain nutrients and then they get the nutrients they're deficient in, they may develop further in that area. It's a very glandular area, really. So anything that upgrades the function of your glands, you may get further development. You may find that you weren't developed to your genetic potential or whatever, and that's rampant in a diseased society where a lot of weird contaminants are causing bodies to develop in different ways. But in other words, really good nutrition could cause gains there for some. Okay? Much love. Next question. Could you share your thoughts on cold showers? They close the pores, and in theory, they should prevent most of the harmful chemicals in the water from entering your body. Well, that's an interesting theory. They're definitely good for improving your microcirculation and health. They're anti-inflammatory. They're good for recovery from hard training. Now, as far as how they close your pores, that's true in a temporary sense. So if you wipe that water off while your pores are still closed, I would definitely agree that you must be absorbing less toxins. However, remember, the pores of your skin are not the only thing that soaks through toxins. Your skin's kind of it's like a paper in a sense. It lets a lot of things soak through. So you're definitely reducing toxicity, and that's great. Any way you can reduce it is always better than not reducing it. I wouldn't say it completely eliminates the toxins, but it has to reduce them a lot. That's really cool what you're thinking there, man. I like that. Glad you brought it up. Very cool. Next question. I am going to travel for a week abroad, and I won't be able to carry the supplements I'm taking with me. bentonite clay, magnesium, D3, methyl B12, and ashwagandha. Do you think taking a week's dose the day I'm leaving would be a good idea? No, you'll be shitting, especially the magnesium, you'll be shitting all over the airplane or something. No, don't do that. All these things are more about taking them consistently over time. So if you really can't take any of those, if you can't take so much as a few small supplement bottles, you're only gone for a week. Who cares? No big deal. Just enjoy your week and come back and get on it and stay on it, man. Don't overthink it. And don't do something weird on your way out the door and end up puking and shitting all over your first day on your trip because you overloaded so hard on supplements. Unrelated. It says, I have been going through the questions in this comment section, and I can see why you flip sometimes. Most of them are answered. Yeah. And most of them don't even make the effort to look at the video playlists that literally have videos addressing exactly what they're saying. They act like I'm just some monkey that's supposed to sit here and perform and answer questions and fulfill their life when they snap their fingers. And if you're not making even the effort to look at the content on this channel before you ask the same dumb questions, that tells me you're wasting your own time and you're wasting mine. You're not going to apply any of this shit anyway. You're just making noise to get attention, so that's useless. You're wasting the time of people that are here to actually improve themselves in the world. So, no offense to anybody, but I'm just not going to waste time on that nonsense anymore. Much love. Next question. How to decalcify the pineal gland? Yeah, I've been over this in various Q&As, and half of it's nutritional and the other half's belief systems of fear. And really, if you want to get serious about that, you should probably just get a private consultation with me. Check out my shamanic services page. Check out the options there and email me with what's on your mind, okay? Because I've answered this in a variety of ways on Q&As, and people just keep asking anyway. And it's a more involved topic than some quick fix, obviously, so I'm kind of getting tired of that on the Q&As. Much love. Next question. Is there any way to get better vision? Yes. Improve your health. Clean your liver. Clean your kidneys. Clean out your body. Clean out the contaminants. Get all the nutrient levels higher. And believe you're going to have better vision. That's how you can get better vision, literally. Much love. Next question. Do you have any... and a few specific things if you want to try for better vision. Bee pollen. Make sure you're not allergic. Take a small dose the first few times. If you're not allergic, you can eat all you want. Bee pollen, goji berries, and next on my list would be the organic gotu kola and the organic ashwagandha, and sunflower lecithin. I would apply those things to my life, and if you want to take it to a higher level after you notice those are working, I'd get another better upgrade and do all of it. Much love, my friend. Next question. Do you have any tips or tricks to lose fat, or maybe something that has worked for you? I'm having a hard time losing fat. I'm counting calories. Counting calories is not going to do it. Strength training and cardio, but the results come slow. I'm more of an endomorph type, torso dominant. I get big easily, but have a hard time losing fat. I also started to implement recently some of the things from your upgrade manual. Much love. Okay. Keep it up. Do the rebounding. Do the coffee enemas if you're smart. If you want to clean out your liver, which metabolizes fat. You live in a society with backed up livers that can't metabolize fat. One of the many reasons I'm constantly trying to get people to man up and use the coffee enemas. Drastically improve your hormones and your metabolism. Intermittent fasting, especially for endomorphs, okay? Your body will handle intermittent fasting easily. Once you adjust, you'll be able to do a high volume of training even while you're fasted and feel great doing it. And you will improve your insulin sensitivity, and you'll burn fat all throughout the day for energy. You'll improve your hormone profile. You'll improve your metabolism. Everything gets sharper. So for more endomorphic types, internal cleansing to get the contaminants and the estrogens out and get the metabolism able to metabolize faster, and intermittent fasting. Those are my two biggest hacks to improve your metabolism and burn off more fat during the day. Much love. Next question. Hi, Nether. I understand your food combinations, but does it really matter? Okay, you don't understand my food combinations, and they're not mine. They're the physiology of the human body. If you did understand, you wouldn't simultaneously say, does it really matter? So you don't understand at all, okay? Just so you know. due to the fact that food in your intestines is all going to combine anyway. Hate to break it to you, but by the time it reaches your intestines, it's well past the point when it matters which enzymes had to be released from your pancreas in order to digest and get into your bloodstream. So you don't have any knowledge of the digestive tract or how any of this works. And you're just blindly guessing here, which is a complete waste of my time. I would not teach food combinations if it didn't matter, okay? So go look around and educate yourself with silly questions like that, and don't insult me with questions like that, man. That's fucking ridiculous. No, it doesn't matter. I'm on here teaching you shit that doesn't matter. That's what I'm doing. See how fucking insulting that is, man? No disrespect to you. I know you didn't mean it that way. I'm just pointing it out. I'd like to shoot down a lot of these kind of questions before they waste everybody's time. I don't teach things that don't fucking matter, okay? Period. Hopefully everybody knows that now going forward. What are your thoughts on Dr. Sebi? No idea, okay? I don't follow other people. It's not where I get my information from. What are your thoughts on Dr. Sebi? You guys share with each other, okay? I'm sure someone else on here will compliment because I've been asked about that guy's name 50 times now. I do not have time to follow anybody at this point, just too busy leading. Much love, next question. I'm wondering if rowing as you were rowing a Viking ship or paddle a boat would grow the back muscles more than just the up and down motion of, say, a Pendlay row. What do you think? More activation? Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're doing Pendlay rows with a similar amount of weight to what the oar would be that you're pulling, I'd say, yeah, there's a little more motivation or stimulation with the oar because you're moving your lower body through an entire range of motion. There's just a lot more total body movement with that kind of rowing. So yeah, overall, it's like you're hitting your whole back and rear delts and core and even some legs as you're pushing off the floor. Obviously arms, you know. So it's more total stimulation, sure. Next question, much love. Hey Nether, what are your opinions on the snatch grip variations? Will you do them in the future? I've done them in the past and I will do them in the future, and I like the way they will put stress on certain muscles in my upper back and get it sore with even a lighter weight. Pretty good for rear delts sometimes. It's a good way to use like a rack pull or a deadlift with a lighter weight than you normally would. So you don't end up taxing your lower back and lower body very much, and you can still get good gains on your upper back and mid back, depending on the width of your grip and the angle of your row and stuff like that. So those are my basic thoughts. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, a few questions. Soy versus sunflower lecithin. Well, obviously I use sunflower in my manual because soy has certain potentially estrogenating things, and it's also a GMO crop, which is a man-made abomination. So I just recommend the superior version. Thoughts on reishi mushrooms? Reishi's fucking awesome, man. I feel good when I take reishi. That's a great adaptogen. That's my thought. Are there any natural sources of K2? Yeah. Animals that live in a natural environment have a lot of K2 in their organs, especially their liver. And there's some, there's a vegan food like natto or natto or some, like that Japanese soup in a cup type stuff. I don't even know what it is, but supposedly that has a lot of K2. But you can Google this for yourself. I don't know why I'm the Google function now. You're perfectly capable of Googling these things, guys. What's a good adaptogen stack for mental gains? The ones I recommend all the time, Gotu Kola and Ashwagandha, and there's many others out there you can add if you want to. Again, you can Google this all by yourself. Thoughts on cooking food in cast iron to increase iron intake? That is a fucking terrible idea. The kind of iron that you're going to absorb out of a cast iron pot is not the kind of iron intake your body needs. That's like, why don't you just go lick metal shavings off somebody's shop floor and swallow them for increased iron intake? That is toxic rust and fuck you up iron. That is not the kind your body needs. Terrible, terrible. I recommend Key to Fitness Ryan Key. Learn about how to cook safely and clean for everyone. How to keep your whole environment from killing you. Most of the things in people's houses are what's killing them even faster than what's outside in the air and the streets. Key to Fitness Ryan Key. My go-to expert on how to make your environment clean and conducive to health, including cooking methods. Much love. Next question. Jeremy B. Every time I run or any activity that involves some sort of vibration, my skin itches unbearably. Only antihistamines can prevent it. Need a cure. Thanks. Yeah, Jeremy, you're consuming all sorts of things that you're highly allergic to. So first get rid of the big three obvious killers. dairy, gluten, and sugar. And if you haven't eliminated those from your diet so far, just start with that, okay? And a month from now, you'll be doing better. Then if you want to actually repair from the inside, I recommend everything in the Nether Better Upgrade Manual, or doing your own countless hours of research and coming up with something that you believe in to build you up from the inside. Your body is so fucking toxic, it's miserable. Period. That's the truth. And this is very common in this world, especially in so-called civilized society. Much love. Next question. Will I forever be in limbo of detoxification symptoms after I have stopped drinking milk daily, yet increase plant consumption but continue to consume cheese and other dairy products? I have been coughing up mucus lately. Also, does maximizing the size of your dick just come down to maximizing testosterone? Or are there more steps? You're 18 years old. I guess now I'm a dick enlargement expert too, so let's address the first part of your question. Yeah, if you're still compromising and consuming dairy, obviously you're not going to get all that junk out of your lymph system. But milk was the worst player, and so you are now detoxing somewhat from the amount of mucus and congestion and general fuckedness that your lymph system is being dealing with in your body. But you're choosing to compromise. You're not ready to give up your cheese addiction yet, so you're going to detox a certain percentage, and that's it, okay? Now, as far as dick size, I'm sure testosterone is one of the things that improves growth in your growing years, but I'm also sure there's more to it. The human body's never this simple thing. There's probably 100 different hormone interplays that have to do with that, as well as nutritional things and mindset things and a bunch of stuff, man. So it's many factors. But yes, maximizing your nutrition, of course, and your mindset to have the best hormone profile and vitality possible is, of course, going to make more of your formative growing years in that area as well as everything else. That's just simple and logical. Much love. Next question. What do you think about MSM powder? Well, in the past I supplemented with it. I didn't get anything positive from it personally, which just tells me I wasn't deficient in sulfur. But there are people that have a lot of testimonials about health benefits. So this is one of those supplements it's all going to come down to, are you deficient in sulfur or not? If you are, you'll probably notice benefits from MSM powder. And if you're not, just like me, you won't notice anything from it, no matter how much you use. So that's my thoughts on that. Much love. I just want to know your diet, man. I already said no. We're not talking about that. My diet's not relevant to anybody. And for dietary mastering, I don't recommend you come to me. I recommend you go to Key to Fitness, Ryan Key. That dude's fucking brilliant when it comes to diet and health and training and everything else. But he's just my go-to expert for dietary planning, okay? He can help you guys with all those questions much more than I can. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, I mentioned I play football on one of your earliest Q&As. We got another question regarding help with it. Do you have any training or even mental tips for being an aggressive beast at things like tackling or pushing, moving bigger guys out of my way? I'm 5'11", 216, and I'm going to have to deal with bigger dudes who are maybe 6'5", 260 and shit like that. Yeah. I have good aggression and speed, but I just want that really good strength to go with it. I'm going to be a senior next season, and I really want to be strong and powerful beasts like you, man. Much love to you and your family, Nether. Well, thank you, my friend. What I would say, what I remember from playing no pads full-on football where somebody always goes to the hospital with bones sticking out, my favorite kind, I have always overpowered the guys that were way bigger than me. You know, I'm a pretty big guy, but there'd be guys out there on the line that, like you say, they're 6.5 foot tall or more, and they're 300 to 400 pounds, some of these dudes, these guys would bring out to play football with us. What I noticed was 400 pounds is still just 400 pounds. All I got to do is get lower than him, lift him off his feet, and toss his big ass. And when he hits the ground, hell, it hurts him more than anybody else. So when it comes to being outweighed, it's about getting lower and bracing harder. Get the underhooks, man. Go look up underhooks. It's a fighting term. Get the underhooks, and it won't matter the other guy's heavier. You're going to be able to lift him. So for me, it was always about being lower. And for me, that's easier when the other guy's damn near 7 feet tall. It's easier to get under him than it is for him to get under me. So that's what I always found works on the line, as far as just when you need to push somebody bigger and heavier, you need to lift them up a bit, make them lighter, and then their feet slide, or you just lift them clearly off and dump their ass and go right past them, you know? You can even fake it, come in high and at the last second, get under him. So he's expecting to be hit here, and he misses it, and you hit lower. Sweep his feet right out from under him. I love doing shit like that to guys that are fucking twice as big as me. And as far as being aggressive, you gotta love it. You gotta love the aggression. Think about a wolf, not a dog. Don't be domesticated. Don't be everything society has taught you to be. Be so fucking wild that they can see that you're just purely having fun being an animal, man. Passion. Have a passion for it. You know you want to. You know you want to be the guy that's on that highlight clip, hitting somebody so hard their helmet goes up into the fucking upper decks of the bleachers or something. You know you want to be that guy. Love it and do it, and don't be apologetic about it. Yes, other big pussy-ass men are going to get their stupid egos hurt and not like you for it. So what? Other people's weakness shouldn't be a reason for you to not have fun and make the best of your time, man. Be that guy. Be that son of a bitch that's known to hit so hard that they go, yeah, he's not the biggest guy out there, but he's the scariest. Don't get hit by him. He goes balls to the wall. And as far as exercises, I like the pin squats I do, okay? Because that's pretty much the kind of, like that and trap bar deadlifts, those kind of moves. That's the kind of power you're going to explode up out of when you're getting underhooks, or you're getting just under somebody bigger than you, so you can shoot up and forward explosively and take them right off their feet, So those are a few thoughts. Much love, man. Next question. Does drinking a lot of water help relieve sunburn? It can. It can. Any sunburn prevention tips? Thank you and much love. Well, the only sunburn prevention is you need to know your skin's limits and not go beyond that. And granted, if you'll build up a tan more slowly, of course, you can drastically increase how much sunlight you can handle. Depending on whether you can get normal sun exposure, I don't know. Also, high-dose vitamin D, like what's in my Nether Better Upgrade manual, that some people out there will try to tell you it's scary and it's bad and it's going to hurt you and it's dangerous and yada yada. One of the actual facts about it is when you take higher dose vitamin D, your skin gets darker, and many have observed their ability to handle more sunlight before being burned. Just an interesting hack there. You can also Google supplements that help the skin to not burn as much. There are other things, and I don't remember off the top of my head what they are, but I remember reading about other substances that people have discovered that when you ingest it, it actually causes your skin to become more sun resistant, okay? Or handle more sunlight. Much love. Next question. Tell us about your best trip on psychedelics. I don't know, man. Not on this channel. There's already enough people that I can sense right now are kind of on the fence. Is he crazy? Is he too crazy to benefit from his advice? So I'd rather talk about him somewhere else. Maybe down the line. We'll see. When everybody's, truly more open-minded and comfortable and not so afraid on this channel that I'm the devil or whatever retarded shit they've heard. But yeah, I just don't think we're quite ready for that story yet on this channel, okay? Keep it in mind, though. Much love. Okay, anyway. Much love. Next question. How to make your subconscious obey your conscious? Well, by using your conscious to reprogram your subconscious, okay? Your conscious mind is the thing that you're creating with in this life something new. Your subconscious is everything you already brought with you up till now. Whatever limitations you have are in your subconscious due to the way things went in other lives or earlier in this life. Especially for those of you that think reincarnation's scary. Let's not talk about that. Let's just say ideas you picked up in childhood and so forth, okay? You use your conscious mind to decide what you want to be creating reality. And you start programming that now, okay? Your conscious mind is in the driver's seat, but it's going to take repetition to rewrite what's in the subconscious. So first you need to become clear what you're choosing to be and start being it now. I'm talking about that's what you identify as, is what you're choosing to be in this life. It doesn't matter that nobody else gives you a piece of paper yet that says you're that. You start being it right now. And that is what you focus on every day. Like Muhammad Ali, I am the greatest, I am the greatest, I am the greatest. He was using his conscious daily practices to put enough repetition into his subconscious that that's what it believed. So that's how reality would manifest. Okay? Much love. Next question. Recommended equipment for a home gym, like if you had it down to bare essentials, what would you recommend? Oh, some would say my gym is bare essentials. For me, the bare essentials were get a power rack, or build one, or have one somehow, and then get a barbell, and then get weights, and as you get stronger, get more weights. Those are priority. And then my next thing was a trap bar. I love a trap bar. That was my next priority. At this point, I'd like to have gymnastic rims. I don't have any room where I train now to use them, so kind of up in the air on what I'm going to do on that. I'd like one of those special squat bars. I would like this and that and the other. But for me, the minimums, I don't even have dumbbells. My minimums involve having a rack so I can practice heavy things by myself safely, and a barbell. In my case, it's a big, extra heavy-duty one. It's the one that came off the Smith rack. So that bar's been through hell, and it's still holding up, which is cool. Because I hear some really depressing stories about how wimpy a lot of the standard barbells are out there now. And then weight plates. Those were my minimums right there. And I can build an amazing body and amazing strength with literally just those three things. So that's my minimal, but yours might be entirely different, you know. Now, based on all the stuff I've been showing lately, body weight, tiger training, various gymnastic moves people are recommending, and I'm doing my best to demonstrate it, probably with not perfect form because I have this big giant body and nobody my size even does those moves. But depending on how much of that you're going to include in your training, that might change which pieces of equipment are most needed for you. So it's a very individual thing. You need to know what you're aiming for in your training, and that'll help you determine what are the most important pieces to get in what order, what's most important to help you prioritize, right? So that's my answer. Much love. Next question. Any strategy for not getting STDs? Primarily mean oral. I don't want to get HPV or some shit, but I'm sure getting vaccines isn't a great solution. Yeah, I wouldn't trust the vaccines. I don't know, man. I don't know. If you're Mr. Player, I mean, shit. I don't know if there is a solution to that. I know that what you expect, I know that, and this gets metaphysical, but I know that people who feel guilty about sexual activities are about 100% more likely to contract an STD from even one sexual partner, or very few. Whereas people who feel no guilt and fear or concern tend to be able to get away with a lot more without catching STDs. Now, I've witnessed this. It also applies to the laws of manifestation. I've seen this in action, okay? But I've never been Mr. Player, so I can't speak from personal experience or anything, but that's just something that I've witnessed, okay? Just something to throw in there and consider. But I'm not the expert on that. Okay, next question. Hey, Nether, first of all, you're amazing, and thank you for all your effort you're putting in. Well, you're welcome, my friend. Second, I'm having a long question. I'm a sprinter, and I train in group 3 times a week. Expect running. We also... Oh, so besides running, you also do leg workouts. So I want to be productive on the other days and train my upper body. Yeah, that's smart. What split do you think is the best for gaining mass if I'm torso dominant, but the way my recovery is amazing? Oh, by the way, my recovery is amazing. Thanks to you. Awesome, man. So I can go to the gym all the other 4 days. Thanks in advance. You're a true inspiration. Okay. Awesome. So the way I understand this, you're a sprinter and you want to go ahead and build your upper body up to match more, which I think is smart because, you know, when you have more explosive strength, you know, even your arms can help you accelerate and stuff. Most of the top sprinters I ever saw are very muscular in their upper body too. So I would say stick to the really functional stuff like chin-ups and pull-up variations, push-ups, weighted push-ups. Now you want your delt cap so you look right. Make sure you do some kind of dumbbell lateral raises. You might want to do, I would say start with very basic things. I'm picturing weighted push-ups or push-ups and then working up into weighted push-ups. chin-ups and pull-ups, both pull-ups and chin-ups, and progressing until you're doing those weighted. Shoulder work, lateral shoulder work, and then some extra like face pulls for external rotation for the shoulders and to strengthen the top of your upper back. Now some bicep work. You don't really need direct bicep tricep work, but just to look good, you might want to include that maybe at the end of your workout, you know? But I really think sticking to the more functional stuff where you're moving through space, like weighted push-ups and pull-ups and chin-ups, handstand push-ups, the kind of body that you need as a sprinter, I would suggest things like that. And even more importantly than the exercise selection, how you do the exercises. Be as explosive on the positive part of the rep as you can. So when you're doing pull-ups, let's say, pull yourself up as hard and fast as you can. You can come down slowly, but then explode up. Same with push-ups, same with everything. Because you want your fast twitch fibers to be able to propel you through space as fast and hard as possible. So the way you train should be explosive, okay? So you're training fast twitch fibers. That's my basic 2 cents on that, man. Much love. Next question. Would you separate rice and noodles into their own meal, or is it okay to have with meat? Also, what about in terms of bananas? Oh my God. Key to Fitness Ryan Key for all your health questions, because you guys are asking all the same questions anyway. Nobody's familiarized themselves with the things that we've been over here. And Ryan is a dietary expert who even has awesome productive dessert recipes. That's how far he's taken it. So check him out. He's my go-to expert on diet and dietary planning. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to specialize more in the other things I do over here. So much love. Let Ryan know I sent you. He's brilliant and he's very easy to talk to. Very personable person. Next question. Any tips on power and vitality for dogs? Answered that yesterday, or the other last Q&A. Answered that one. Is 5,000 internal units of vitamin D3 and 5 milligrams of vitamin K2 enough to benefit from them? Thanks. Yes, very much so. You should notice some very real health benefits from that. Next question. Nether, I would like to know your opinion on Doug Hepburn's 8x3 routine. No idea, man. Don't follow other men, don't know any of their routines, and don't care. So your opinion's more valid than mine. Next question. You mentioned you've worked with animals before. What feats of strength have you seen gorillas and chimps do? Well, those aren't the animals I've worked with, so I don't know, man. I've seen gorillas and chimps just kind of hanging out at the zoo when I've gone there. And now in nature shows, when I see a 400-pound gorilla gently, like it's nothing, just pull himself up into a tree with one hand while he's holding a baby in the other hand or something, and he's not straining at all, I call that a serious feat of strength, you know? Because that's normal. That's like walking to you and me, pulling 400 pounds with one hand to him, okay? So that'd be my reference point on that. Much love. Next question. I worked with lions, tigers, bears, cougars, leopards, mountain lions, lynxes, bobcats. Those are the animals I have hands-on time with, okay? Much love. Next question. How to cure sunburn with natural options, things made at home. Yeah, what you want to get is high-quality aloe vera gel with no other ingredients or contaminants. Organic, high-quality aloe vera gel. You put that on a sunburn, it really heals it a lot faster, okay? Much love. Next question. In a recent video, you mentioned cleansing the body to allow supplements to work more effectively. What did you mean by cleanses? Fasting, sauna, steam room, etc.? And what kind of protocols do you apply to them? Thank you. All my personal best detox methods are in my Nether Better Upgrade manual. The things you've mentioned here, fasting, sauna, steam room, yes, those are all cleanses. Those are good cleanses, and I actually have a little information on intermittent fasting. I didn't recommend the sauna or the steam room in my manual because my concern is a lot of people will just do that without paying attention to the other side of it, which is electrolytes. And then they'll blame me when they're having cramp problems or whatever because they didn't actually pay any attention to the instructions. But sauna is a great detox as long as you're getting your electrolytes in as fast as you're sweating them out. For my personal best methods and life hacks and so forth, get the Nether Better Upgrade manual. There are more high-powered cleanses than just what you've mentioned there. Okay, like coffee enemas, for example, my very best. That's the big one that many don't step up to, and it's the single most powerful thing. But anyway, next question. Can one negate the negative effects of smoking occasionally by having perfect nutrition and lifting and doing cardio? Well, yeah, to whatever degree, sure. I mean, you're compensating. You're smoking occasionally. You're doing a lot of healthy things that, you know, are balancing that out, I guess. So, yeah, I mean, theoretically, I don't know what you're smoking or how occasionally or how your body is able to handle that. I mean, some people can detox from smoking faster than others, for example. But if you really are smoking occasionally and you're doing this mythical thing that doesn't exist called a perfect diet, then yeah, I'm sure you're fine. Now, what I'm saying is clearly whatever habits we have that aren't perfect for our health, the more things we are doing that are good for health, it's definitely going to help balance that out. Yes. Of course. Good question. Moving on. Much love. Hey man, now that I finally bought the home gym, I can do weighted push-ups. I run full body and would like doing them after overhead presses. Which sets and reps would you recommend from lower to moderate weight to not fatigue before other exercises while still getting decent volume and progression, since I have to put it on my back because I don't own a Smith machine. Also, I'm not sure how I would compare weights to the bench on it. I'm also doing it with a push-up bars because I feel amazing stretch on the chest. Nice. Compared to the other, yeah, okay. I was wondering if this is safe combined. Well, yeah, I mean, as long as you're not, you know, doing something unreasonable. If you're about to tear a pec overdoing it or something, you can feel that. I mean, pain is a signal you should pay attention to. And I'm not talking muscle burn pain. We're talking pre-injury pain, which, if you have any experience, it gets kind of easy to know the difference. Congratulations on getting more recognition since you're the best fitness channel on YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Your opinion is flattering in a sense. So, the way I understand your question, I'm not sure if you're talking about not fatiguing doing the overhead presses, so you're weak on the push-ups, or if you're talking about not fatiguing on the push-ups, so that you're weak on everything else in your workout. Now, I do understand it's a little awkward to put random objects on your back when you don't have a Smith machine, and it's probably harder to load as much weight. You can't load just crazy weights like I do because you don't have a nice bar mechanism to keep it where you need it. So, in that case, if you want to, you know, max out on your overhead presses, which makes sense, and then go into your weighted push-ups, I'm going to assume you mean not overdoing the weighted push-ups so that you have, because you run full body. That's what I'm assuming here. So I would say in order to progress on your weighted push-ups without draining too much from the rest of your exercises, there's nothing wrong with just doing 2 good working sets all out, you know, almost a failure, and just aim for progressive overload. I mean, even 1 good working set gets gains. 2 is like just to make sure that in case one of them wasn't ideal, your muscle still got the message. So that sounds reasonable to me. 2 good working sets of weighted push-ups before you go on to the rest of it. You should have plenty left for the rest of your body and be able to progress that way on your chest. Much love, man. Cool questions. What does your morning routine look like? I don't have a routine because every day is different for me. Things I like, well, okay, one thing I always make sure I get done, well, 99.9% of the time, I do a coffee enema every morning to get the day started right, so I'm high vibrational and clean, and my metabolism, my liver's happy, everybody's ready to go. We're not groggy or depressed or negative or hung up on a bad dream from last night or whatever it is. So that's one thing I like. I like to comb my hair and put some essential oils on my scalp. Yeah, those are kind of my little pet peeve waking up. Oh, Drink water. I hydrate first thing in the morning. I get up and drink 2 or 3 big glasses of water. So those are the kind of the basic things I aim to get done every morning. I don't always get all those things done every morning, but for the most part I do. But every day is different as far as what's going on, the timing, and how I have to adapt. Much love. Next question. Hey, Nether, please help. I'm a teen who's looking to get aesthetic. I'm not obese, but I do have some extra fat, and I would like to get rid of it and get visible abs. Problem is, I keep hearing people talk about how it's not good to cut at this age.